have enough followers or something. Unfortunate. Someone said I look like the lead singer of Nickelback. I'm trying to remember what he looks like. Oh, he's like the, look at this graph. He does that, right? I know that guy. I'm probably just going to say word salads. True. I always do that. I love word salads. Come on, man. Oh. Tap the... Oh, yeah, that thing. Is that right up there? Tap the orange heart icon to boost the live. Hell yeah. Oh, what's up, Tommy? How's it going? I've gone live, Tommy. I've joined the TikTok live crowd officially. This is my... What's it called? Induction. Something. I don't know. Hey, Gene. Join my team. What prompted the face reveal? I didn't see any reason not to anymore. I used to be a lot more of a private person, but I think it was doing more harm than good, to be honest. And you know what? We won't talk about that. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, we have someone disagreeing. She is done. People are no longer believing the BS. She is losing big. You can say that if you want to. But the whole polling situation that happened in 2016, where Trump significantly overperformed, taught a lot of polling analysts, where their polling was going wrong, where were the deficits in their polling. So there's been a lot of statistical adjustment of polling recently, and it's probably going to be a lot more accurate than it has been in the past. So she's leading right now. It's close, unfortunately, because people are brain dead, but she is leading right now. So as long as we're cruising here, I feel confident. No fraud in Michigan. Trump will win. No, I think, what is Trump? Trump's like 3 points ahead in the polls there, or Kamala's 3 points ahead in the polls there. So that's all good. Hey, what's up, definitely. Are you unburdened by what has been? Yes, absolutely. The presence of Harris, of Kamala, and her brat summer going into brat fall, and definitely brat winter, I feel free as a bird. Oh, I gotta keep. I forgot to scroll down. You sound like somebody who's trying to cheer on his girlfriend. Mamala train, hell yeah. I believe in that. Mamala always. Wait, is this who I think it is? What's up, man? How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Are you voting for Kamala?
For Kamala? Yeah, that's a plan. Kamala? Assuming I don't die beforehand. We'll see.
I can't help me. Somebody brought up this name, Willie Brown. Who's Willie
you
Brown?
Are you Greg? You're the old school Greg, aren't you?
Oh, what gave it away where it says Greg?
Yeah, I was wondering because that wasn't your profile picture as far as I remember. At least I don't recognize your profile picture. How do people know my name is
Greg if it says Greg right there? It's so odd.
I know, it's crazy, right?
How are they noting that?
Who knows? I can't read, so thank you for informing me.
Do you know who Willie Brown is?
I do know who Willie Brown is.
Can you help me understand? Because I don't know. I'm not too familiar with how he relates.
It seems like you're trying to say that Kamala... apparently you can't read or pronounce either. That's okay, man.
No, I don't know who she is.
Apparently, you're trying to assume that Harris has some nepotistic backing to her success as a DA in San Francisco or as Attorney General, even though she won an insane amount of votes for both positions.
Wait, why would you insinuate that by just the name Willie Brown?
Because it seems like you're saying, wow, she had some connection to Willie Brown at the beginning of her career, and therefore, God, she did. Yes.
What was her connection with Willie Brown?
I don't even know. It could have been like partner,
you don't know
girlfriend.
What her connection was? Maybe they were just pen pals?
I think they were pen pals, honestly.
They were pen pals?
That's probably the case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what you really think? You don't
I'm
know
curious.
who Willie Brown is?
His name sounds kind of similar to Eugene Carroll. Do you think they could be
similar to
connected?
Well, Willie Brown wasn't writing a book and trying to get publicity, recalling something that
that's
happened
interesting.
40 years ago with no evidence or proof. So Willie Brown actually didn't do anything like that.
That is true. There wasn't evidence. Just direct testimony that aligned with herself,
did
her
Kamala
friends,
bang Willie
independent
Brown?
people, character testimony, all of that type of stuff.
So
it's
no
true.
proof
In a
at
civil
all, 40
court,
years later,
their character testimony,
they have to
witness
change the
testimony,
rules.
all of that is not evidence. You're so
They
right.
have to change the rules so she can even come in and have a case because the statute of limitations, they had to circumvent that, like that kind.
So you think that like when someone's been sexually assaulted, that they should not be held liable? Is that what you're saying?
I like to have proof when somebody is saying that they were assaulted and not coming out when it's convenient.
True.
Waiting
There wasn't
40
proof. I'm curious.
40 years with no proof, no evidence, no anything, and just a trust me, bro. I think that's kind of not good.
Sure. What Trump said on the Hollywood Access tape.
What, grab them by the pussy?
Oh my God, he said that? That's wild. That's
I can't believe
insane.
it. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine?
That's crazy. I cannot believe someone admitted to sexual assault, and then when someone reports that he sexually assaulted them,
sexual assault?
That's insane. Yeah.
How is grab them by the? They'll let you grab them by the pussy. Sexual assault.
Yeah, you don't even have to ask. Isn't that crazy?
So it is saying that is. Did I just commit sexual assault?
Yeah. But believe it or not,
Holy crap, I just committed sexual assault by saying those words.
Believe it or not, when you grab someone in their genitals without their permission, without asking them, that is sexual assault. He did. In fact, Greg, there was a whole
I didn't know that he
court
did
case.
that. Did he do that, or did he say that?
In fact, there was a whole court case that convicted him, that held him liable of doing that. Isn't that crazy?
Helped him liable?
Isn't it crazy that when he
what?
from his own mouth he said he did something?
That he did that. That's amazing. I didn't know that. How did they prove that?
I mean, if you want to read the case, we can go through it together.
Tell me, where's the proof? I've been looking really, really hard for the proof of that.
Sure. If you want to go through the case, talking about how Eugene Carroll had a specific individual testimony. Sure. Eugene Carroll had a specific individual testimony where she talked about she talked about what happened, and then guess what? And then guess what?
Yeah, that's what proof is, right?
Greg, real quick. And then guess what?
She said
just after that,
that's
Greg,
amazing.
Just after that,
hey, I have some proof.
Just after that, hold on.
I believe you sexually assaulted some people, so now it's proven.
Hold on, real quick. Just after that, you want to talk about the evidence? We're going to talk about that. Just after she reported that, she talked to her friends. She talked to several of her friends who heard her statement and corroborated themselves. So now it's not just one person.
One friend,
and their test is.
You know how many friends it even was? It was one friend.
It's not just their person. It's also their testimony.
If she was great, why did she go to the authorities?
Greg, not only that. Why
did she wait 40 years if she got raped? That's weird.
She waited
until she had an authorship of a book coming out to say that she was raped?
What was her explanation on the case, Greg?
She would do tours around Manhattan talking about different people that were assaulters?
I got to ask you some questions, man.
That's amazing.
I got to ask you. I should mute him, but it's fine.
I know. Can you tell me again? And you've circumvented the whole Willie Brown thing. Who was Willie Brown?
What did she say? What did she say?
What did who say? Well, Eugene Carroll?
What did Eugene Carroll say as to why she did not initially come forward?
She said that I think rape is sexy. I think that's what she told the Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, absolutely. So what did she say at the beginning? What did she say?
What did she say? Cat's name is Vagina.
That's fine, Greg. What did she say as to why she did not come forward?
Why did she not come forward? I know, convenience. Maybe her book wasn't coming out.
Yeah, see, that's the problem is you don't read the shit.
And
not only that, your very mentality here demonstrates that you don't really care, that you don't really care about women and their testimonies and their experiences. Sure. So the reason why I'll tell you why. Let's focus. I'll tell you why. Because she understood that her coming out about this, especially in a circumstance where there wasn't a Me Too movement, where there wasn't a significant attempt and effort, and she talked about this herself, there wasn't a significant attempt and an effort to show all of these people in power sexually abusing people. There wasn't that happening in the 90s.
The Me Too movement.
She was scared, and not only that, but Donald Trump.
So you're saying the Me Too movement did not happen? Is that what you're saying?
The Me
He
Too
had no
movement,
Me Too
the Me
movement?
Too movement that occurred, absolutely not. In 2015,
So
the
she just
Me Too,
waited.
the
She
Me
just
Too
waited
movement.
for the year that he was running for president to say, "Oh, all this stuff happened to me."
Yes,
40 years
because
ago.
Greg, if
I have
you've
no
ever talked
proof
to
or anything about it, but
if you have ever, hold on,
I just said it did, and I have a book.
Oh, I can do that. Oh, that's cool. So if you have ever talked to women in their life who have been sexually assaulted, do you understand the ramification and fear about coming forward about it, especially if you're in connection to that person?
Call me crazy.
That is
Call me
multiplied.
crazy,
That is
but
multiplied.
I think if
That is
somebody is
multiplied.
sexually assaulted,
That is multiplied.
that by
I'm
not-
just
I know
going to
you don't
keep
like
on
listening.
as
Libs
soon
don't
as
like
you
listening.
finish.
I know you don't like
As soon as
listening.
you
It's
finish.
okay.
As soon as you finish,
Poor
I'm
man's
just going to
Jesus
say what I
over
said
here.
again, and I expect you to respond
I know you don't
to
like
it.
listening and keep talking over yourself.
Oh, I
And
can.
you mute people that disagree with you.
No,
which
so
is
quickly.
amazing.
Oh, that's great. Oh, I can keep on doing that. Okay, that works.
No,
So I'm going
you
to finish
keep on
my
doing that.
statement.
That's your only defense.
mentality,
You people
your
who disagree
mentality,
with me.
guys. Is this worth it? I don't know if this is worth it.
Yeah, you should kick me, coward. You should kick me, you coward.
The difference, I know that because that's what you do. Hop
you're
on lives,
first of all,
and then
steamrolling's not
and then
working. Gish Gallop isn't working. I ask you for evidence. You have no evidence.
Are you done?
Oh,
Katie's
please
muting him
tell me
too.
evidence. I'm waiting for the evidence. Please.
Okay, so
Oh,
you
now
need to.
you're one of your
Hold on.
minions is muting me?
Hold on. I gave you the
minion is
evidence,
muting you.
the personal testimony, the character evidence, and the witness testimony. Those three in conjunction were sufficient in order to convict him
Who's
of
your
being
minion
civilly
who's
liable
muting you?
for sexual assault. Oh, that makes
Who's
it so
your
much
minion
easier if
muting
Katie
you?
does it. A wonderful person, my favorite person in the whole world.
Able to do this?
So those
Is this
three,
too hard?
sure. So those three levels of evidence were. So those three levels of evidence were sufficient for convicting
No,
him.
it's not
As to
sufficient.
why she did
There's
not,
no
it
proof,
absolutely is
bro.
because it's
There's
been
no
used in civil
proof.
cases multiple times before.
No, there's no proof.
Are you done
I know
steamrolling?
there's no proof.
Are you done steamrolling?
You're
Are you done steamrolling? Possibly.
You're calling the cow black
Maybe.
right now, bro.
Maybe.
If I get muted one more time, I'm leaving. This is pathetic. Dude.
You can
This is really,
leave,
really,
and I might
really
even kick you too, to be honest, because every
Like,
single
you guys
conversation
can't have an
do
argument,
this.
so all you default to is muting people
Sure.
and talking
So-
over them.
You made a statement. You made a statement asking about why she did not come forward earlier. Your misunderstanding of that indicates. Oh, he went. I'll just finish the point. His misunderstanding of that indicts him on how little he views and appreciates the circumstances of women who are sexually assaulted all the time. When someone is sexually assaulted, especially by someone who is, a family member or who you're close to, that puts a shit ton of pressure on you because reporting on that could cause a lot of problems for your social circle. That is multiplied by 10 when you are trying to report on someone who has significant power, especially in a corporate yuppie culture that does not give a fuck, about women and their experiences. So if she reported about that sexual assault to Trump or on Trump to the police during that time, almost certainly nothing would have happened because there wasn't that cultural support for women in that circumstance. So I've talked to Jeff. I've talked to Greg before. Such a fucking headache. I don't know why people engage with him. He's a little insane. All right. Well, that was a disaster. So much fun. I'll let up. We'll see if there's another person. Hopefully they're a little bit more
What's
honest,
up?
straightforward, coherent. What's up, man? How's it going?
I just got a question for you, man.
Sure.
Can you put a girl on? Put a girl on.
Are you trying to hop
Put
on
a
and flirt?
girl on.
Is that
Put
your
a
MO?
girl on. Put a girl on. Put a girl on.
Are you just flirting on live? We'll see you later, dude. Oh my God.
Assaulted her.
You can say like essay or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't even, the designer said it wasn't even in production when she said the rape happened, which she said was in a couple of year period. They sent the dress to the New York Times to have it tested for DNA. The New York Times refused to test it for DNA because there was no DNA. Also, she was a huge, huge fan of The Apprentice. Let me finish. She was a huge
Sure,
fan
go
of The
ahead.
Apprentice, loved Donald Trump. Another
Can you
thing
give me a
is that
specific
they in
citation
turn-
of her saying that?
They in turn also extended the statute of limitations on assault victims for 1 year, so they could bring this case against Trump.
Do you disagree with the extension?
Pardon
I'm
me?
curious. Do you disagree with the extension? Do you think that people who've been sexually assaulted don't deserve
No,
some
I
type
think
of
the true
recourse for what happened to them?
I believe that you're a true victim, but also, did you also hear that her version of what happened is basically a Law and Order episode?
It's almost like during a Law and Order episode, which is, by the way, a really fucking silly point. It's almost like during a Law and Order episode, the writers probably refer to real cases. I don't know what the point is there. It's kind of fucking silly. The fact is Trump had the opportunity during the discovery process, and you should know this, he had the opportunity to give his DNA during the discovery process. The whole DNA thing was shafted because, one, he wasn't being cooperative, but two, the DNA was not sperm, so wouldn't really work as effectively in deciding specifically. I think it was like skin. It was like skin cells.
Oh, and from a dress that's like 30 or 40 years old, they're still
sure. The question is, why was Trump so resistant? If Trump apparently never knew her, he never met her in his life, he never knew her, why was he so resistant to giving his DNA?
Would you give your DNA if you weren't guilty?
If it is true, no, absolutely. Now, if I'd like known the person, if I had been with them, and all of a sudden they came out and said, "Hey, you sexually assaulted me," I could understand. Especially the lawyers would recommend. Oh, what happened? The lawyers would recommend. Oh, what's up, librarian? How's it going? Oh my God, Amber.
Hey, hi. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
Sorry, Haas. Give me a second.
Somebody sent me the live, and I heard what you were talking about. So I don't know
if you want to hop in. You might. I'm not sure how many times you've gone over the Eugene Carroll case, but that's currently under discussion right now. Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know if I've had the opportunity to tell you that I'm actually related to her. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's my aunt. By marriage. I've known her for 30 years, so I know a lot about the case.
Yeah, I mean, then feel free to chip in and say whatever. I've gone over like cursory stuff around the case, but it seems like I don't really know what Haas's point is as of right now, to be honest. But it seems like Haas doesn't think that Trump's lack of willingness to give his DNA isn't some sort of indictment of his character and his possible involvement, even though he denied ever meeting her, ever being with her, even though there was him photographed with her.
Well, again, how many people has Trump been photographed?
Yeah,
he's a very famous person. He probably takes photographs all the time with people. I mean, there's no
the issue
evidence.
was that he was. Yeah, there is. The issue is that he was shown this photograph multiple times as soon as these accusations came out, and then he continued to say that he'd never met her and didn't know who she was, when he totally did know who she was. They knew each other. They both lived in Manhattan for decades at the same time. They ran and had many of the same friends. He knew her husband well. So it's a lie to say that he didn't know her, first of all.
Not only that, and I just remembered that oh, sorry, go ahead.
In his deposition for the first trial, they showed him a picture. They showed him this picture of himself with her that he had already seen many times. And they pointed to Eugene Carroll and said, "And who is this?" And he said, "That's my wife. That's Marla."
Even though he said specifically, one of his defenses in the like during his deposition or I think in the trial was that I'm not attracted to her type, which is insane.
She's not my type.
Yeah.
She wouldn't be the chosen one. She's not my type. And then when they showed him the picture of her, he mistook her for his wife. So obviously, the whole "she's not my type" thing was a lie.
So that makes him guilty with no other type of evidence, as far as like physical evidence. No type of recording from no one in Bergdorf Goodman saw them. There's no recording. There's no proof of anything. And plus the fact that they in turn opened up the statute of limitations for another year, extended for a year for people to bring their cases forward. They did it specifically for her to bring this.
That's a lie. That is a lie. That is not true.
It's not true that they in turn opened up. They extended it for a year.
She had absolutely nothing to do with a law in New York State being changed. Do you think one individual
saying she did.
Is that powerful? The reason that law was changed, and by the way, that law has come up in legislative bodies across the country. There have been several states who have also implemented that law, and others who are in the process of writing that law to implement that law because of lobbying from victims of the Catholic Church. That was who spearheaded trying to get this law passed so that child victims and adult victims of the Catholic Church from decades ago could bring suit against their predators. That's who started this. She had nothing to do with it. And the fact that that law passed 2 years after she came out with her case and filed her suit, obviously, since she had filed this suit as a defamation suit and nothing else, she had no intention of ever adding the sexual abuse to that case. But when the law changed in New York State and she was able to, she added it to the case. It was originally only a defamation suit.
And who financed her lawsuit against Trump?
Let me ask you a question.
Who put up the money?
Let me ask you a question. Yeah, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
How do attorneys who represent plaintiffs in civil cases get paid?
Well, sometimes the person that's hiring them pay for it. Other times, people pay for it.
Wrong. No. If you hire, this is why civil attorneys who take civil cases will only take a case if they are very convinced that they can win. Because if they don't win, they don't get paid at all. If they do win, they get 30% of the award amount in the verdict.
It's probably more
That's
than 30%.
how they get paid. Sorry?
Probably more than 30%.
No, it's 30%. That's New York state law. And if they don't win, they don't get paid at all. So there is no upfront payment or retainer or hourly charge when you hire a civil attorney for a civil case. They don't get paid unless you win. I've been through a civil case myself in New York State. Same thing. So nobody financed her case against him because that lawyer still hasn't gotten paid and won't get paid until the appeals process is over and that money is released from bond, which they heard the oral arguments in the appeal 3 weeks ago, should be decided within the next month.
And you said you're related to her?
Yes.
In one way? In which way?
She is my aunt by marriage. Somebody in my family married somebody in her family 30 years ago.
And did you know that she in turn, well, from my understanding, she was a huge fan of The Apprentice. If a woman was raped by somebody, why would you be so a big fan?
Where did you hear that?
Oh, I've seen it numerous places, and I also saw her on what was his name, Anderson Cooper's show.
Yeah, she didn't.
She thinks that most people think that rape is sexy.
That's not.
Yeah, I saw the interview, and
yeah, so
Anderson
did I.
Cooper looked on his face like, "Holy terror! What is this woman saying?"
Did you know that Anderson Cooper had to come out and make a public statement explaining that situation because so many people were misrepresenting his reaction to that and explain to people why it looked the way that it did because he was so upset that people were making it sound like he was disgusted by what she said or didn't know what to say. There is an entire 10-minute statement from Anderson Cooper explaining that.
Of course he's going to explain it.
That's not what happened.
Well,
it was his show.
Of course he's going to backtrack and say something, but just weird. I mean, I'm sorry, but your aunt is weird of the stuff that she says and all.
In our society and in our culture, tend to romanticize, fetishize, and glamorize SA. She was 1,000% correct. Whether you think that it's weird that she said that or not, she is correct. And I can give you, right off the top of my head, about 5 movies for you to go watch where rape scenes are portrayed as love stories. That is what she was talking about.
But it's the way she said it. She said it. She was saying it like she was saying it, not that that's what people.
Her exact words were, "I think people think rape is sexy." Those were her exact words, and she is fucking correct. Did you know that 62% of Americans self-report fantasizing about rape?
No, I don't. I don't know where that comes from.
It comes from a study by this. I think it's in the National Library of Medicine. You can go read it. But that is what she meant. She grew up in an era. Have you ever seen any of the early James Bond films? One of the films portrays a man,
Sean Connery,
literally throwing a woman into a barn stall full of hey, and forcing himself on her. And this is portrayed as a love story. There's another film called Blade Runner with Harrison Ford, where he shoves a woman against a wall, forces her to say, kiss me, forces her to say, touch me, forces her to say, I want you, and then forces himself on her. And this is portrayed as a romantic love story. That is what she was talking about.
And that's where it's all coming from Hollywood, and we can see exactly what's coming out of Hollywood now.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's
Hollywood
what she
doesn't correct all that. They don't correct the gun violence. They don't correct any type of movies and stuff.
You're going off on a tangent now. That's not what we're talking. Yes, that is the way that our society. Hollywood doesn't do things just because like they live in like an alternate universe. This is the way our culture thinks. And yes, Hollywood has shaped a lot of it. Goes back and forth. Like this is the way that not only Hollywood but literature, we're talking ancient literature. The freaking Bible, okay? Even has scenes where they romanticize, fetishize, and minimize and make acceptable SA. And that's what she was talking about.
And Haas, your ignorant or willfully malicious misinterpretation of what she said is exactly why this shit is still so prevalent. And the fact you missed that entirely is insane.
Well, I mean, with all the stuff that's been out there, I tend to not believe her because of all the hate towards Trump, and to get this man, to keep him from running for office, all the his lawsuits that have come across the table.
Well, here's a question:
You understand?
Did what she did prevent him from running for office? He was in the midst of the middle of his presidency when she wrote her book and came out with this accusation. He was already president. So how is that going to prevent him from running?
Well, he's running the second time. I mean, dropping out, accusing.
How was she supposed to know in 2019 that he was going to run the second time?
Well, I don't think she didn't know he was going to run, but I mean.
She has absolutely no interest whatsoever in whether or not he's running for president again. What her interest is in getting justice for the person who assaulted her. This is a human being who is a predator to her. She doesn't give a shit
Haas,
if he's president or not.
Your mentality here enables people who are abusive, who are narcissistic, who take advantage of people to retain power. If your whole thing is, well, this person is controversial, they do a lot of stuff that people disagree with, therefore we're going to discredit accusations against them because there's a potential for bias there, that allows those very gross, immoral people to maintain and gain more power.
Yep. And it's not as if she's the only person who. Are you aware of what the exhibits, the evidentiary exhibits were presented in this case? Do you know what they were?
What were they?
Do you know any of them?
No.
Okay. Well, she had the
dress. She had the dress.
Well, that wasn't part of the case because
she didn't even know. She didn't even know. How do you not know what year this happened?
She does know. It was spring of 1996. I don't know why you think that.
Well, they were saying in the print. Well, we're going by the media. The media was saying she couldn't even remember what year it was.
This is the problem: is that you're listening to the media and you didn't read the court transcripts or her testimony. You're listening to what the media is saying about it rather than what she said about it and what the court said about it. That's part of your problem because she did know exactly when it was and where it was. And one of the exhibits that was presented to the judge. Now, this is not going to be something that you can read. You can't read medical records because of HIPAA. They are private. They are sealed. But her therapist records that from the late 90s, when she went to her therapist and talked about this incident, were given to the judge in this case. So those are sealed medical records from New York State from the late 90s. Where she discussed what happened.
Well, I don't. When it's
and the said instances were corroborated by people she knew because she directly talked to at least one other person.
She had two friends that she told. The minute she left that building, she ran around the corner into the alley and called her friend Lisa, and told her what happened. And Lisa said, "E.G., he raped you. You have to go to the police." And then she talked to her friend Carroll the next day, who said the opposite. E.G., don't tell anybody. He will bury you. He has like 200 lawyers. He'll destroy your career. He'll destroy your life. Don't say anything. And because she was terrified of going up against somebody like Donald Trump with his money and power and what it would do to her, she decided that she was going to try to forget that it happened. And she moved on with her life the best that she could. But if you read her testimony, you'll understand that there are other reasons why she didn't come forward. One of them being that her mom, who was in her 90s, was literally in hospice dying in 2016 when Donald Trump was running. And she was by her bedside with her two sisters and her brother at that time. And it wasn't until after both of her parents passed away that she decided that she could talk about it, because she never wanted her parents to know about this. She didn't want to hurt them with this.
Well, what about the book that she wrote where there's multiple people that she's accused of, or in the book,
Yeah, so
she's been assaulted by multiple men.
The purpose of her, here's the other thing that fucking amazes me. I'm 47 years old and I've been assaulted by 2 people in my life. Most women have. So it's amazing to me that anybody would find it weird that somebody with an illustrious career living in Manhattan, meeting people every single day, would never be the victim of any kind of harassment or assault, when we live in a culture where that happens to women constantly. But the purpose of the book was to talk about all the bad men that she's encountered in her life. So she talked about everything. And one of the things that she talked about was something that happened to her in college, where she managed to get away from the person and was not assaulted. And the other person that she talked about trying to rope her in an elevator was, God, what's that guy's name? He was accused by like 30 other women, and yet he was fired from ABC. What is his name?
Matt Lauer.
I'm sorry. No, not him. No. He's married to Julie Chen, I want to say.
Maury.
I can't remember his name, but yeah, the only other like powerful, wealthy person she talked about was him, and how he got handsy with her in an elevator, and she fled the scene. But she never accused anybody else of rape. She never reported anything about anybody else. She never brought any charges on anybody. She never tried to sue anybody else. She was just talking about all the bad men that she's encountered in her life. And if you think it's crazy that somebody's had more than one bad man, I don't know what world you're living in. You're not a woman. Let's put it that way.
Looks like their name was Les Moonves. I actually hadn't heard of this person.
Les Moonves, yeah. And he had like 30 other women come forward about harassment, sexual harassment and abuse, and was had to step down from his position because of that. So certainly wasn't just her.
You were saying that most women have been assaulted.
Yeah, 1 out of 3.
Well, all the women I know, I don't know one woman that's been assaulted, period.
Do you think that you
Could
are
be
the
they haven't
kind of
mentioned it to you.
No,
do you think that you're the kind of person that they would tell you? Do you think that you're the kind of person that somebody would come to and tell something like that to? Because right now you're sitting here victim blaming and denying that something that's happened to somebody. So why would a woman ever tell you?
I just question it all, because none of it makes any sense.
You question it. That's the reason why no one's ever told you anything that's happened to them.
No, ma'am, it's not. I mean, of all.
Yes, it is. This is why women don't tell people, because people don't believe them and they question them and wonder, and why were you there, and why did you do this, and why were you wearing this, and why did you say this, and you're weird, and I just question it. This is why no one tells you. This is why no one tells most people. This is why 62% of women who are assaulted never report to anyone ever. They take it to their graves. Do you know what the conviction rate is for rape cases in the United States?
No.
2%. And have you ever known anybody that's been through a rape kit and a police reporting process and court and going through years of depositions and examining your life, and they subpoena all of your medical records? They talk to everybody that you know, because the way that they try to defend the predator is to excoriate the character of the victim. I've been through it myself. I was on the stand for 3 hours dealing with it. I know exactly what it's like. And it's almost as bad as the assault itself. And there's reasons why women don't report. They know what they're going to face. And a lot of victims who report and start going through the process end up backing out and saying, I can't do this, because it's invasive and predatory, the way that they constantly question you. They have to go into your body to get evidence. It's not easy. So there's a reason why people don't report. And the fact that we have a 2% conviction rate should tell you why women are not inclined to put themselves through that.
So my question is, another question is that if all this happened to her, then why did she finally decide to go against Trump, go after Trump?
Because her parents were finally gone. And she never wanted them to know about this. But she finally, once she got into the presidency, she was absolutely appalled that someone who had that many accusations against them and somebody who had done that to her could actually be president. And she didn't come forward in 2016 because, like I said, her mother was dying. And once her parents were gone and she didn't have the fear of having to have them know about this, that's when she said, I mean, read her testimony. She said to herself, E. Jean, don't be chicken. You have to speak up now.
Yeah, Haas, I don't know why. I mean, to me, it just shows a complete lack of empathy as to why you can't even guess as to why there might be fear for someone who's been sexually assaulted, especially by someone in a position of power, to come forward and talk about it.
No, I do have empathy, and I have sympathy for people when that they've been victims of that.
Sure. So then you would understand that it's really only been the past decade that there have been more significant cultural efforts to pay attention to the voices of women, to condemn the instances of rape culture, proliferating in the media. That's been relatively recent. It was pretty status quo to ignore all of that stuff, especially in the 90s when it occurred to Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
But I just find it strange that I understand what all that you've said, but it's just strange that all the people that have been going after Trump cases and stuff to get him not to run so he doesn't become president again. It's just too convenient that all these things happen.
That's your opinion, but none of those things are in any way, shape, or form related to E. Jean Carroll. E. Jean Carroll has nothing to do with the state of New York going after him for fraud, for the government going after him for felonies. She has no relation to any of that and has nothing to do with it. So the fact that he's a piece of shit human being might be the reason why he keeps getting in trouble. Don't commit crimes.
When figuring out whether or not you want to come forward, there's a lot of personal things you have to consider. But when the person who assaulted you all of a sudden is going to have access to the nuclear codes, that's probably going to communicate something extra to you. Like if you were wronged by somebody and talking about that wrong might have some negative impacts to you, but then you realize that somebody all of a sudden has a shit ton of power and they have the ability to affect, which he already has, to affect the way that women deal with their own bodily autonomy. Why wouldn't that be a massive motivating factor to say, yes, I should come forward. I should talk about this shit.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And did you know that when Donald Trump divorced his wife, Ivana, that she said under sworn testimony in her deposition that he had assaulted her? You can read it. It's in a sworn testimony deposition from their divorce proceedings. She said that he had some kind of procedure to fix his hairline, some kind of scalp procedure or something. And he came home angry and they got in a fight and he raped her, pulled her hair out, and the next morning asked her, did it hurt? That's what she testified to in their divorce proceedings. So it's not like this is new behavior.
So how do
you wanted to ask?
How do you feel? I know that they're all hating on Trump and all, but how do you feel about Bill Clinton being accused by all these women?
Bill Clinton is a piece of shit, and I wouldn't vote for him. Does that make you feel better?
They don't want to talk about him. They don't want to talk about Joe Biden assaulting the woman. They don't want to talk about all that stuff. It's only they want to talk about Trump and all the bad things he's done.
Why are we, and I want Athena to ask their question in just a second, why are we pivoting back to a president who was in the 90s?
Well, why not?
Why aren't we talking about the person who was front running the Republican Party right now?
What about Doug Emhoff Harris's husband that was that abused one of his girlfriends at a party?
He had no. That's not what
Well,
happened at
can
all.
I,
Slapped her?
before like the next time you pivot this hard, give me some time to contact my chiropractor. I almost broke my back. Haz, I wanted to ask you a question. If your daughter came forward, I don't know if you have children, if your daughter were to come forward and tell you that something similar happened to her, would you be asking her all of these questions?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes and no. Yes to the fact that yes, if my children tell me something and it doesn't make sense and things don't add up, then I'm going to like question what they're telling me. And I won't.
So you would question your own
go
daughter?
into what my daughter did, but I would question her because
Wow.
Do you have
it
kids?
makes sense. But no. And then of course she
You don't
did
have
admit that
kids?
she was lying.
Sorry, did you say you have
Yes,
or have not?
I do.
You do have kids.
you have daughters?
I have a daughter and I have a son.
So, are you surprised that the women in your life, like the women in your life, have never come forward to you and talked to you about this? If you just literally said that you would
because I've
question
been
your
married
own
for
daughter?
30. I've been married 36 years. My wife's never been assaulted. We've been in a.
No, that
That
wasn't.
you're aware of.
Yeah,
no,
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
I've known my
you
wife
just
for a long time.
you just said you would question your own daughter.
No, I
Right.
was. It wasn't a thing of sexual assault or anything like that. It was something else that she in turn came forward to us, and just what she was telling us didn't make any sense. I don't.
No, I'm saying
because
is
that doesn't
if
make any
you
sense.
were
and she admitted she was lying about it because she was wanting to do a certain thing. But I'm just saying.
That's
Even
totally different.
Even if she did come forward, I would question,
Wait, can I
not
just-
accusatory, but I would question, and if things didn't make sense, I would question her even more.
So if you're telling 169 people and like a bunch of strangers here that you are willing to question your daughter if she were to come forward to you, what makes you think the women in your life haven't seen this pattern of behavior, which is why they don't feel safe around you?
No, it's not that they don't feel safe around me. I'm saying that if someone comes forward with something and things don't make sense, I'm not going to accuse somebody if they in turn come tell me something and say, oh, whatever. But I'm going to question, and I wouldn't question them directly, but I would question them in my mind. Does this make sense?
You would
Just so
question
we can.
Because
Sorry, go ahead.
and
No, go
like I
ahead.
said, in this one case with my daughter, I didn't say you're lying, blah 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 blah. I simply I let her talk and keep talking. The more she talked, the more she dug herself in a hole, and found out
Okay.
it wasn't true
Sure, whatever.
because she was wanting to do something. So I'm not saying that if someone came forward that I would.
It seems. Sure.
I would.
So
I would
it
question
seems.
my mind that this really happened.
Real quick. It seems like you're applying the doesn't make sense label off the bat because absolutely nothing about what E.G. and Carroll said didn't make sense. It seems like you're generally gesturing at some like year misremembering or some year misalignment, which isn't a nonsensical thing. But then you have Trump literally talking about how he would do this, how he literally can do this to women without asking. What about this charge levied at Trump doesn't make sense?
Well, the comment that he made with what was it, Billy, whatever. his name
Access
was.
Hollywood.
Okay, that was a generalized term that he said that a lot of women say, but they made it look like that men don't talk like that. Men talk worse than that in the locker room.
Good
And
men
women
don't
would
talk like
worse
that.
than
No. I'm gonna
Yeah,
stop
men
you.
who.
Nope.
No,
My dad was a football coach for 30 years. And if he ever heard anybody say something like that, they wouldn't be on the fucking team anymore.
Okay, we're not talking
Good
about.
men don't talk like that.
I'm
No.
talking about the locker room in general.
Yeah, I am talking about the locker room.
Talk about
You think
it.
a football coach spends a lot of time in a locker room? There's no fucking way any of those players or himself would ever say something like that.
Men
That
say
is not a
that.
normal thing to say.
Men say that, and they say worse things, and
Well,
women say
then-
stuff.
then-
Yes,
you shouldn't-
men who
then-
sexually assault people say that type of shit and worse
Then
things.
you shouldn't be surprised that 1 in 3 women have been victimized, should you? If men talk like that so easily and so often, then no one should be surprised at the assault rate. There you go.
Well, I would have to disagree with that just because you talk about something, not in general of that, but the way that men use language around women and women.
So behavior starts with words. Behavior starts with thoughts that turn into words that turn into actions. When you talk like that, and
Would you be okay if men talked about your daughter like that?
No, because I mean,
Why not?
I wouldn't be mad. I would be concerned because my daughter doesn't really hang around people like that.
No, that's not what I asked. I'm saying, if you're saying it's so normal for men to just act that way or talk that way, do you think it would be okay for them to talk about your daughter that way?
No, it wouldn't be right. But like I said, it's not right.
Why wouldn't it be
it's
right?
Period. But
Why
it's
wouldn't
locker
it be
room
right?
talk is what it is. And
Why
they
wouldn't it be right?
You don't have. Go ahead, answer them. Sorry.
Is there a lag? Sorry, it might be.
How's are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so why wouldn't it be right to talk about your daughter that way?
Well, any type of language like that is inappropriate to talk about. But I'm just saying that when this happened, and they made it look like that men don't talk that way in the locker room, and men talk worse than that in the locker room. And
So you
talk about that
also,
to their buddies
so you also have
worse
a
than that.
son. Would it be okay for your son to talk about women like that?
No, it wouldn't be.
Also,
But that
just to be
doesn't make him a racist
just to be
either.
completely clear, too. As someone who's been in male locker rooms, yeah, they can say some shitty things. It really does not verge on that. That is not a part of regular speech. That's not a part of regular joking. Now, it's true, I'm queer. I got maybe a different background than a lot of other men, but at least from my experience, I have never, ever been around a man in a locker room or otherwise that's talked like that, period. Now, maybe I just do a better job of filtering the people that I associate with, but the idea that that's just some, like, rhetorical standard for men, but it never actualizes in action is insane. As Librarian said, the words you say, the way you talk about things, that creates psychological conditioning, which enables you to engage in actions that harm other people.
Then I would say you haven't been in very many locker rooms. I personally don't talk like that. I respect women, but I've been around.
Wait,
all of that.
okay, so
Wait.
you just
Okay.
proved our point that when men talk like that, they're disrespecting women. And if men don't respect women, then they clearly don't respect their bodies and their boundaries. You're
Wait.
proving our point here.
Why would you
Also-
want, I'm sorry, Critical, I just wanted to say
Go ahead.
this. Why would you want a man who does not respect half of the population to be president?
Well, I personally don't know him, so I don't know. But I mean,
You just said talking like you just said locker room talk, supposedly like quote unquote
I'm
locker
saying
room
the
talk
things that he
is
said
disrespecting women.
is locker room. But, well, think of the stuff that Bill Clinton has said. Think of the stuff that Joe Biden
My
has said.
lord, again
Men
with the
say
pivots,
stuff all the
can you
time.
stop deflecting? Is Bill Clinton on the ballot right now? Is he
Nobody
running?
was.
I'm asking if
That's
he's
not
running.
okay either. Not okay either. We're not okay with that either. I don't know what makes you think we are.
Then why do the Democrats bow down to him? He's the greatest thing that ever walked the earth. But you try to bring that up and they shut you down because they don't want you to talk about that.
Well, if he was running for president right now, I can promise you he would not get my vote. Because I've heard the way in fact, my husband was interning at the White House when Bill Clinton was president. So I know he's a pig. He would be getting my vote. I don't know what the point is. I wouldn't vote for him either. I don't care what the Democratic Party does or what they think or who they prop up. I'm not a Democrat. So
He still hasn't answered my question though, by the way. He just deflected to Bill Clinton. You didn't answer my question. My question was, why would you want a person who disrespects half of the population to be president?
Like I said, I don't know him personally. I don't know if he said that, if it's just something he said. But
You don't know if he said that or if it's just something he said? Huh?
I mean, I don't know the man personally, but I know that number one, that he ran the country. He ran it better than past presidents have. I think he's a better choice of the two candidates.
I'm sorry, what universe are we in right now? First of all, you said that men who speak that way are disrespectful to women. And then you're saying, well, I don't know him. You heard him say it.
Hey.
So you know he's disrespectful to women.
But just because someone is disrespectful to somebody doesn't mean that they in turn can't do a good job running the country.
They certainly can't do a job respecting women, and women are half of this population. Maybe if you were one, you would understand why we don't want somebody who clearly disrespects us running our country. Hello?
I had a question.
But you just said you wouldn't let your son talk that way, like speak that way. Why would you be okay with, again, a president talking that way? I'm a bit confused.
Because
But
I
you're
don't
not
know him personally. I don't know if he
consistent.
ever really truly said that, or it's just something
He
he
said
said.
it on tape. We have the tape. there's a recording of him saying
Yes,
it.
and he's saying it to a
multiple
reporter.
times. He also was on photos with Epstein, literally saying that him and Epstein have something in common, which is they're type in women or the girls, or that they're that young or whatever
They
it
like
is,
young
right?
women. They like young
Yeah.
women. That doesn't make you
Young,
right.
yeah, young girls, and we know what kind of young girls Epstein was into, right? So again, you said that you wouldn't allow your son to be talking that way, but you're perfectly fine with the person who is leading a whole country to talk that way.
Well, I guess yes.
Oh wow, okay.
Would you have a problem if it was like socially acceptable for people in locker room spaces to talk about child predation?
No, it's not. That's not appropriate.
No. But essaying women is?
I'm not saying that essaying women is appropriate.
Haas, you've.
But I'm
by the
just
way,
saying-
What is the line then?
My phone's about to die, so I had to plug it in, which means I can't plug in my other shit. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Haas, you've heard of the whole rape culture concept, right?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you not think that something like talking about women in that way, why do you not think that facilitates other actions that are worse?
You're just assuming that. I can't just assume just because something is said.
No, we have.
Well, you
data
made
that
the same
proves that.
jump in logic. If talking about children in that way, one might presume that actions would follow, yes?
I can't say yes, maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
If you're to think about like a social group, like a meso-level social group that you would associate with the most sexist, brash, abhorrent type of talk, what would you generally think? Not a specific question, but
I don't hang around people like that, so I don't know.
do you think that frat parties would fall under that, or fraternities would fall under that?
Since I've never been to a frat party, or no, I don't know.
Okay, well, most people would make the assumption that, yeah, like fraternities where it's like an all-male setting and there's less accountability happening with the type of rhetoric they use, that is absolutely a place where men or college kids or whatever in fraternities would talk that type of way. It's no coincidence that one of the hotbeds of young women in college being sexually assaulted is at these frat parties, because those men are in a social circle where there is less accountability for their actions, where there is talk and status around identifying possible like virgin targets and trying to sleep with them, where there's a lot of alcohol and shit like that, that type of setting generates the type of criminogenic issue. And now a ton of fucking women get assaulted in those settings.
University campuses in general have really high essay rates. Yeah.
So it's like disproportionate. It isn't like compared to like a general population. It isn't like half of all women on university campuses report being assaulted.
Yes.
Yeah. The environments we create generate certain actions. When you allow for an environment, and we're already off like the probabilistic assumption of whether or not Trump did these things, but when you allow this type of environment and this type of rhetoric to occur, you allow for that type of action to occur. It's no different.
So what you're saying is that when they go to a frat party and the men are drinking, the women are drinking, it's just a total drink fest. Everybody's drunk.
Not everybody.
Well, usually in frat parties, everyone's drinking. They're doing beer bongs and everything else, drums and everything, and that's what they go there for.
Perpetrators may be sober.
Everybody's drinking. So what do they think is going to happen in these things where they in turn, men are going to
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you just went straight to victim blaming. That type of mentality is there isn't an action you can engage in that permits someone else to use your body without their permission.
So would you
Like, period.
Would you agree also? Would you agree also that with girls?
Well, Haas, I want you to verbally agree to what I just said.
Okay. What I'm just saying is that
I want you to verbally agree to what I just said.
repeat it.
Is there an instance where someone can use your body, where you can engage in an action, and then someone uses your body without your permission, and it becomes okay?
No.
There is not.
No.
So why are you saying that these people are going to get drunk, and therefore there should be an expectation or an allowance of assault?
When you put yourself in that situation, like I told my daughter and son,
No.
if
No.
you're going,
That's not what I said.
put yourself in the position that you are drinking, you don't have control of all of your senses, and you put yourself in that position, things can happen, whether it be the girl doing it, the boy doing it, whatever. That's
The only person,
always when
no.
alcohol is involved and stuff like that.
This is exactly what we're talking about with grape culture. The only person who puts themselves in a situation to do something like that is the person doing it,
Okay.
not the
So-
victim.
So would you say with girls wanting to sleep with a bunch of boys, is that, and basically it's, of course, a guy can be more willing than a girl is, I would think.
Are you talking
That's
about
okay.
consensual sex? Because that's a completely different and separate things from SF.
Well, when you in turn are, everyone's drunk or whatever, and you in turn force yourself on a boy or whatever, and he in turn goes when he doesn't want to.
Assault is wrong no matter who's doing it to whom. I don't know what's confusing about this to you. I don't care if it's a woman or a man or her. I don't care. It's wrong to force yourself on someone.
But with y'all talking about a frat party and alcohol, whenever alcohol's involved, there's always stuff that happens that shouldn't be
That's not
happening.
true. That is not true. Whenever a rapist is involved, then there's a likelihood of that happening.
Yeah,
alcohol is not the
doesn't, like-
common denominator here.
Alcohol doesn't turn you into a different person. Alcohol lowers your inhibitions to allow you to do things that you would
You
do
must-
otherwise.
You must not have been around a lot of people who drink. Where
I-
Most of the people I
Alcoholic-
drink around have never essayed me,
Kidding me?
nor have I felt compelled to do the same.
and they're
My
totally
husband's a
different
recovering
person.
alcoholic.
So I
I'm
would
very
have to
aware of it. Like,
I would
I've been
definitely-
around tons of people who drink. I don't know what you're talking about.
I would definitely, because I've been around some people that their personality totally changes when they get drunk, when they've got alcohol in them. So I can't agree with that.
It's not me with the echo, by the way.
I'm sorry. Are you basically saying, like, when you put men and women together, it's bound to happen? A grape is just bound to happen. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not so much just so insane rape, but I mean, when they go to these frat parties and all, they're going there for one thing, to drink and to party, and sometimes that partying.
And you know what's the difference between that and like grape or SA? Consent, right?
Yeah.
So the difference
but-
between there's a difference between people like consensually engaging in sexual activities and somebody being violated, right?
Yeah, I
And
mean, nowadays-
also when you're talking about these frat parties, thank you, Zam, people get their drinks spiked. So are you saying if a person got their drinks spiked, they put themselves in that position as well?
I think when alcohol is involved at all, there's things that can happen that shouldn't happen, and then in the morning you may regret.
That
it.
wasn't my question. My question was, do you think if a person's drink got spiked, they put themselves in that situation?
Not that they put themselves in that position, but they in turn are in that environment where they're drinking and stuff. That's why whenever
So then you never go partying, never go. Do you know that a majority? Do you know that a majority of grape victims were raped by somebody they knew, and 9 out
And
of
were
10
sober.
cases, acquaintances? So did children who were also great put themselves in that situation of being in like the family, in like a part of a family with a rapist there? Did a wife put herself in that situation when she gets raped by her husband because marital rape is a thing? Did children in diapers, toddlers in diapers, when they get raped or assaulted, did they put themselves in that situation as well, Haas?
No, they
What's
did
your
not.
excuse? What's your excuse for that?
There's no excuse.
You just literally made the excuse of people putting themselves in that situation. I'm saying in 9 out of 10 cases, the victim knows their the victimizer, right? The person who's perpetuating that violence, they know them in 9 out of 10 cases. Right.
Like
So
Carroll
how
himself,
how did a wife put herself in that situation? Let's take Ivana, for example, who was raped by Trump. How did she put herself in that situation to be raped by her own husband? Explain that one to me.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't
you,
know.
Well, now you don't know.
I don't get involved in other people's personal lives and their sex life or whatever, what happens with
You
them
think
in marriage.
grape is sex
Doing
life?
it now.
I'm just saying.
You
I don't
think
get,
grape
no,
is sex life?
No, calm down. I'm just saying I don't get involved.
I'm
Don't tell her
very
to calm
calm,
down.
believe me.
I don't
Yeah,
get
I'm calm.
involved in other people's lives as far as like discussing stuff and whatever like that. So I don't know what happened in their marriage. I don't know what happened in anyone's marriage.
And then you're surprised as to why all the women in your life don't feel safe around you.
Oh God.
Also,
Believe
can
me,
we just
You seem to be
take this
pretty
back
interested.
believe me, every single woman I feel safe
We
around.
should, yeah. You seem to be pretty interested in condemning or denying something that happened in Eugene Carroll's personal life, which is pretty crazy. So,
No, I
It's-
see.
Also, can we just,
you
can I
have
just bring it back to remind that Donald Trump claims that he's never had a sip of alcohol in his entire life. So none of his behavior can be passed off as partying behavior or being intoxicated because he's never had a drink. And this occurred at a department store on a Tuesday evening. Nobody was drinking. So
I don't know.
Hans, what do you think about Trump's association with Epstein, let's say? The fact that he
I
had
think
calls
it's
with Epstein
all
between
fabricated.
Epstein calling underage people for massages. What do you think about that?
That Trump called for underage.
That Trump had phone calls with Epstein, and in Epstein's call log, those calls were dispersed between calls from Epstein to underage children.
And where are you getting that information? They won't even release the flight logs or the list of
They have released the flight logs. He's implicated 7
Yeah.
times.
in the flight logs. He has not.
Yes, he has held 7 different
He has
flights
not.
between
He has
one
not.
second, between 1994. Shut up. Between 1994 and 97, 7 separate flights, including with his 2 children. At the time, 2 children.
Do you actually think that if that was true, they wouldn't have released all that? And don't you think that
It is true, and they did release it.
they did not release any flight list that has him on it?
They have 7 separate flights recorded.
Yeah. And where's it at? Out on the internet?
Yeah, 1 second. Trump flight logs 7 times. Here we
Like Clinton
go.
went there 23 times and he didn't do anything.
Is
Are
Clinton
you
running for
aware of-
president?
Not like the P. Diddy thing. No, nothing ever happened here. We just did baby oil and whatever. Nothing ever happened.
Yeah. Keep panicking.
What?
Maxwell case log show how frequently Trump flew on Epstein's jets. It's from the Miami Herald.
are you aware of the case
Harold.
that was brought by Katie Johnson against
Harold.
Trump and Epstein in 2016? Are you aware of the court filings in that case?
I've heard it, and I've heard of it. A lot of the stuff has been thrown out.
Well, she dropped the case because she was being threatened. But yeah, you could read the court filings of what she said.
But yeah, specifically the West Palm Beach indictment of Epstein, there were Trump's phone messages, like specifically the call logs the secretary wrote down between people. And yes,
And exactly what he said.
Epstein
on the
called
telephone.
Epstein.
Yes, can you call me back?
Wait, hold on. The call log's not meaning the full recorded conversation of the call, but the secretary writing down who called who.
Oh, so that
the
makes him
secretary. The secretary, I mean, if you want to be ignorant and say it's just happened to be a coincidence that Epstein was calling Trump and then directly after calling a young, I think a child model, Jean-Luc Brunel, right after that. If you want to say, oh, it's just a coincidence, you can do that. But you wouldn't offer the same charity to any other candidate, especially a candidate in the Democratic Party. If that type of shit occurred by the Democrats, you would be all over that, saying that Trump, or saying that whoever the Democratic candidate would be, like Harris, would be, an Epstein associate, would be a child rapist. You would say all of those things. But because you're locked into this cultish mindset, you ignore it and you say it's coincidental.
He likes beautiful women as much as I do, many on the younger side. Isn't that what Trump said about Epstein?
Sexualized his own daughter?
It's exactly sexualized his own daughter, but apparently that's just like locker room talk, and that's how men talk, right, Haas?
Well,
Men
Biden did shower with
sexualize
his
their
daughter,
own
so
daughters, right?
That's another thing.
Oh my
What
God.
did he say?
Are we going to bring Biden into it? Because Biden showered with his daughter, and it was
Is
in her
Biden
diary.
running for Is Biden running?
Well, he is the current president. If you don't
Is
remember,
he running?
Unless he's at the beach,
Is he running for president?
he is the president.
But is he running again?
No, but he's the president
Okay.
now.
So why do you continue pivoting every time instead of
Well, I'm just
addressing
saying,
the points?
it seems like it's a
Instead
one-handed
of addressing
thing
the
as far as-
points, instead
No.
of addressing the points that are brought up, you continue to pivot. Why?
Because it's an attack on Trump, all this other stuff that has happened in the
Oh
past.
my
And
gosh.
presently, they never talk about stuff about that. It's like almost like a personal attack on Trump.
What did Ashley Biden
Here's the
say
problem.
about it?
She wrote a diary. She left a diary in
No, I'm
place that
talking
she was
about what the
living or
statement
whatever,
that
and
she.
someone got the diary and sold it to somebody. They didn't. If the diary wasn't true and the stuff that she put in the diary wasn't true, why in turn did they get all bent
She
out of
came
shape?
out and said it wasn't true.
I'm asking you what she said about it. She said that false accusations have been lobbed at people that she loves in an attempt to destroy their character. That's what she said about all the accusations.
So Haas, here was the problem. Real quick, Haas. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. The elements, while it is true that a court ruling got the diary to be brought back and files were charged against the person that either took or published it, there was no specific verification for which parts of the diary were true, which parts were modified, which parts were false. Given that it's true, which it might be, to be honest, it did show, or it did say that Biden showered with his daughter, which could very well be inappropriate. It's likely to be inappropriate. And she obviously associates that with some of issues around her body and her sexual history and stuff. Not to bring all that up, because, again, a lot of this stuff is private. But, again, you're placing a lot of certainty on this. And even if it is the case, which if it is, yeah, fuck Biden. I'm fine with saying that. This is not part of the conversation about what we're doing with this election. Cool?
I can understand what you're saying, but I totally disagree that it's not a smear on Trump.
It's not a smear on, you mean a smear on Biden?
It's a smear on Trump. That's what they've been trying to do.
You mean the Eugene Carroll or what?
Oh, just
or
every
anything.
case in general. Every case in general.
Okay.
Any case
how-
in general.
Every
How much
case
do you know
is
about the
brought
cases
against
against him?
He doesn't know anything about it.
What was he charged with in New York, the 34 felony one?
I knew the
Hello?
Eugene Carroll case, the also one with the overvaluing his estate in Florida, which was overturned
That was not
No, it was
overturned.
not. No, it wasn't.
by the appeal court.
No,
At the
they
appellate
heard
court, it was not overturned. They heard the oral arguments.
on September 26th. The Court of Appeals in New York State heard oral arguments in the appeal. That's what happens in every appeal.
Lasted all
sides
but
have-
45 minutes.
It usually takes about 30 minutes, but this one was about 45 minutes. Each side gives their oral arguments for why they believe that case should be overturned or not overturned. No decision has been handed down yet in that case.
That's not what I heard, but
Well, you're
Okay,
listening
pull up
to
the
older
verdict.
millennial then, because that rumor started on TikTok, and it's not true. I mean, all you have to do is go to NewYorkCourts.gov and look it up. It hasn't been, there's no decision has been made yet.
What do you think about, I mean, if you want to do something that's pretty watertight, that only got overturned because of biased judges and a pretty insane attitude towards presidential responsibilities, what do you think of the insurrection Trump engaged in?
I think it's a farce.
What is it?
I think it's a farce because they continue to say that, 6 or so Capitol Police died that day. Not one Capitol Police died.
No one's saying that.
January 6th.
No.
Whoa.
Not
No.
one
I'm
died.
talking specifically the allegation that Trump worked with private lawyers to develop a plan to put forward a slate of false electors in order to supplant the true electors put up by the states in order to overturn the election.
I don't believe it.
That is the insurrection that I'm talking about.
I don't believe it.
So
You don't
even the
believe
phone
it?
calls with him between Georgia state officials, the Secretary of State, the governor, calling for more votes, you don't believe that?
I don't believe any of it. I don't believe any of the
There's a
elections.
transcript and recording of their phone call. It lasted an hour.
You can listen to what he says to Raffensperger.
So y'all don't believe that the
Here goes the pivot.
2020 election was voter fraud. A lot of it was
Of course
voter
not.
fraud.
Well,
No.
60 judges didn't believe either.
Well, not that they didn't believe it, they just
60
didn't
juries.
allow. They didn't allow those cases to even start.
That's not
Right,
true.
because
There
of
was
lack of
several
standing.
those cases. There were several of those cases that were adjudicated.
Well, maybe several,
by
but
a
they were
judge.
60. Most of those were not. They weren't allowed.
Because of lack of standing.
There was
would
no
you-
evidence.
So let me ask all of you this. So if you think that even 10 dead people voted, is there concern there that 10 dead people voted, or people that were registered and voted in different counties multiple times?
Wait, 10. Hold on. Do you know how much Biden won over Trump?
It doesn't matter how many. I'm just saying.
It does matter.
Wait,
The
it
total
absolutely
number
does.
in the audit of Georgia
And
was 8
let me ask
dead
you this.
voters.
This is going to be a rare one. So you actually believe that Joe Biden, who did no campaigning, he was in his
did
basement
campaign.
at the time.
Not true.
When did he do any? He was in his basement most of the time. Give me a break, people.
I watched him come rally in Scranton.
Oh yeah, rallies that was what, a high school auditorium. Yeah,
Yeah, it was during COVID. Why are you criticizing him for not holding mass super spread events, of which Donald Trump did and killed Herman Cain?
They could have all wore masks. You know, the mask
They
protected.
didn't at Trump's. Several
Anyway.
people died.
Also, masks aren't perfectly effective, so I don't even know why you'd bring that up.
So let me just-
Responsible
okay.
campaigning should not be criticized here.
Are you
Why-
aware that
why-
one of Donald Trump's campaign officials voted Mark Meadows? He and his wife both voted for Trump twice. They were registered in 2 different states and voted twice, and they've been indicted for that. Did you know that?
But I'm just saying, in general, if dead people vote,
In general.
and there are people that are voting that shouldn't be voting in
Haas,
different times.
every
And the
single
fact there were more people
election,
voting
every
in
single
times that
election,
weren't even registered.
every single election is going to
Widespread.
have every single election is going to have more than one case of fraud. There's going to be a non-zero number of irregularities. That just happens. There's no way of avoiding that. The claim specifically made were that voter fraud was systemic and that it was sufficient to overturn the election results in one or more states. There was no good evidence for any of those claims. Can you bring some up? Because 10 people is not good enough.
I'm just saying that's a generalized thing, saying even if 10 people, dead people voted, there's a problem that there's people voting that shouldn't be voting.
because that magnitude of that fraud is not enough to swing
You believe
an election.
that Joe Biden got more votes than any presidential.
Listen, that shouldn't matter because you don't care about the popular vote anyways. It doesn't matter. He could
Well, I'm
get
just
10
saying.
million. Wait, he could get 10 million fewer votes than Donald Trump and still be president. In fact, you would argue that's a more just system because it happened twice for Trump.
I'm just saying that anyone that believes that he got 81 million votes.
You
needs
don't
to-
care about the popular vote anyways. So
that's
why are
all
you
it
bringing
is.
it up?
You
Trump
also-
lost the popular vote twice.
Isn't that they always push? Is that he got 81 million votes?
And
More
he
than
did.
He did.
Did.
I don't believe he did. If he did, it
Here's
was
the
all.
weird thing about it. Every single election cycle, we have more votes than we did before. It's almost like the population grows,
Sure.
and we have a higher. I think you underestimate how many people turned out to vote for Biden because of how much they hated Trump.
How much they what?
Hated Trump.
That's a reason to. not vote
Can you
for him.
cite any piece of evidence of systemic election fraud?
Well, there was a thing with. Wasn't there something that was turned over with in Georgia recently, convicting some people of.
Yes, someone was convicted, the vice chair of the Republican Party who voted
Okay,
multiple
I'm not
times.
saying there's not bad people on both sides. 'Cause
That's fine. What I'm asking for is systemic voter fraud, which means that there are efforts organized by people in power or by a large group of people that would be sufficient to affect or overturn the election results. What is it?
Well,
Because if you don't have anything, you need to recognize that Trump's effort to overturn and break the Electoral Count Act and say that actually I'm the true president, that'd be based on nothing. So what is it?
well, I think that there was voter fraud. I think there was.
Based on what?
I asked you specifically for systemic voter fraud. What evidence do you have?
The voting machines just themselves.
You're going to bring up the Dominion shit? Are you serious?
Yeah, and who is Dominican owned by?
What?
Dominion.
Who is owned by Dominican?
Dominion.
Dominion. Okay, who owns that company? George Soros.
Soros does not own Dominion.
No,
It's Canadian.
no.
owned.
He might have some stocks in it, but no, he does not own it. You're
Jesus
delusional.
Are you?
No, there's
you
a reason
see
why. There's a
leadership?
reason.
It's
Sorry,
a never-ending battle. But anyway,
There's a reason why Fox
in-
News got $700 million lawsuit for the claims they made, because Fox News was pushing the Dominion voter stuff. But in their brain room, in the room that talks about and facts checks and verifies stories that Fox News is putting forward, they themselves admitted that all of this shit they were talking about was not true. They themselves, they knew there was no evidence that the Dominion voting machines were rigged, yet they continued to talk about it. And that cost them $700 million. That cost them Tucker Carlson, who they had to fire probably because of how much he tanked their reputation and how much he slandered Dominion.
Which is good because he has his own channel now.
Do you know who Tina
Oh
Peters
my God,
is?
track the conversation.
Do you know who Tina Peters is? You know who Tina Peters is?
Yes.
She was a Colorado County clerk who was just convicted of election interference for coming up with a scheme to hack into the election systems to try to flip votes for Trump. She was just convicted. She got 9 years in prison.
Look at that.
Well, I'm just saying.
Okay,
there's a lot
Haas.
of-
Even if you want to say that there was, because it seems like there's this two-faced attitude on the right, where simultaneously y'all want to say, well, guess what? The election was rigged. It was false. There was widespread voter fraud, while also at the same time saying Trump didn't engage in insurrection. He didn't engage in a coup. He didn't engage in any attempt to overturn the previously established processes for our election. You kind of need to pick a side. Either yes, the election was rigged, was flawed, there was systemic issues, and Trump said, that's a problem. We gotta take command because they're not listening to what we're saying, and we gotta coup the government. Or you need to say that actually it didn't happen. So can you stick to one, maybe?
Well, I don't think that January 6th happened like they said it happened. Because
I'm not talking about
That's not
Line
an answer to the
6.
question. Can you admit, if you want to say that there was systemic election fraud, we can move on past that. Can you admit that Trump engaged in an insurrection of the government?
No.
Why not?
If
Why
he-
isn't a violation with private lawyers of the ECA? Why
If he
isn't that
did, they
insurrection?
would have already convicted him of it, put him on trial for it.
What happened?
That
when
is not a standard for somebody committing a crime.
Have they? They accused him of it.
He's been indicted, but that is not a standard of whether or not somebody is guilty or whether or not somebody is implicated in a crime.
And why?
Otherwise, you would say that Joe Biden is a criminal, right?
Well, I don't know. Just $27 million is all.
Is he all right? You think he's a criminal, but has he been convicted?
Well, no, because the Democrats and
So no, so you can't call him a criminal.
about it because he's an old
Haas.
feeble man. That
Haas,
went in-
what was Trump's lawyer's excuse as to why he should not be convicted for conspiring to insurrect the government?
I don't know. Because he did.
If you're talking about this and if you're denying, you should probably look into it. Trump's lawyer's excuse was not that there was systemic voter fraud, a lot of errors, therefore this action was a just usurpation of the government. He didn't argue anything like that, or that it just didn't happen in the first place. He specifically argued that, yeah, it happened, sure, and I'll admit it. However, the office of the president has certain immunity characteristics where charging me with this and convicting me of this would threaten the position of presidents. And because of that, and because he bloated the Supreme Court to all fuck, because of that, he was able to get away with that shit, for now at least.
Well, like with every other president, the stuff they've done.
Can you engage with what I said, please?
Yes.
Do you think it was appropriate for the Supreme Court to allow for absolute and or presumptive immunity for presidents for criminal charges?
You have to look at the entire picture. How is this going to benefit other presidents too? Not just him.
That's
I
the
agree.
problem, though.
The next,
Right.
whatever, next
Yeah,
Democratic
it's
or
not
Republican
confirmed.
president, that gives them an insane amount of power. The fact that they can engage in actions, arguably, there's some pretty good legal arguments for a president being able to assassinate political opponents. That's incredibly dangerous, coming from a Republican or a Democrat. Yet Trump's attitude and your permission for him to engage in this way, your support of him, which got him into office and got those Supreme Court judges elected, that attitude is what allowed this power to fall onto the executive branch, which is incredibly dangerous.
So wasn't it the Congress and the Senate that confirmed the Supreme Court justices? So Trump
put them?
nominated them.
What does that have to do with it? Who nominated them?
Well, he did, just like Obama nominated
And who voted on the immunity?
the Supreme Court justice.
And you're for that or against it?
Well, yes, because they should be the deciding factor.
You are for them giving the president immunity.
They also gave George W. Bush.
Are you for Biden having immunity?
All their war crimes of what they
Are
did.
you for Biden having immunity?
Well, he probably will, because they're
Are
definitely.
you for that though? Are you for that applying to him? Because you cannot argue that he's a criminal, but also make the case that he's immune from prosecution.
Well, I'm not saying he's a criminal. Y'all are the ones that saying he's a criminal.
You've inferred that. No, I did
I'm
not.
not saying he's
You're
a
not
criminal.
engaging honestly and directly with any of the questions we're asking you.
I'm just saying that the entire January 6th situation, they have lied about.
Did Trump break the Electoral Count Act?
I don't know. But I'm just saying, if you have all these lies that
I don't know why I was engaging so long. Holy shit. Holy shit.
Can I say something before I was called? There are 318 people here, and we only have 77.8k likes. Get that up to 100k, and y'all might get spicy feet pics from me. But anyways, get.
Wow. We believe in wholesome, Jesus-filled lives, okay? I don't know what the fuck.
Jesus-filled, all right.
So critically, I have to go.
Get critically up to 100k.
Take care.
All right, Amber.
On his first
Thank you for
time.
coming up and talking about that. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, just real quick, I just want to point out that Rudy Giuliani has been indicted because he admitted that he lied about everything that was going on in Georgia and admitted to doctoring that footage that everybody uses to try to defend Trump. He admitted that that was a lie. So yeah, there's that. But
Half of Trump associates did, which is hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. But thank you so much for having me up. It's so good to see you critically. It's really great to see your face. Thank you, Jaden. Thank you, Athena. And I'll see you guys later.
Take care, Amber. Oh, God, I fucking love perjury laws. It makes it so that, like, court documents they're so wonderfully more truthful than all this shit you get in the media. People have to be honest. I'm not even in law school yet, but I'll probably go to law school after I finish my undergrad, so we'll see. All right. Yep, I guess like the live, all that, whatever you're supposed to say or stuff. Let's get up our next guest, y'all. All right. My very late co-host. Hold on. What's up, Siggy? How's it going?
Hello. I'm
Good
upset
morning.
I missed the start, but it's okay.
I called you like 50 billion times.
Die.
Hell yeah. Well, we're talking about this cunt. Italians. I'm assuming you're voting for Trump because that happens to be part of your name.
Yes, but the reason why I wanted to come up is because of all the grape talk that you guys were talking about and the Epstein stuff.
Okay.
Wonderful.
All right.
Well, I mean, for one...
Do you have something remotely empathetic to say, out of curiosity?
I'm sorry?
Do you have something remotely empathetic to say, out of curiosity?
No, just for instance, the misinformation that's being said.
Oh? Care to correct it?
So I don't know which one it was. I don't know if it was the person that just left or if it's Kobe. But somebody said that Ivana accused Trump of grape, and Ivana literally said that she never did that. And Politico even reported that. And I actually can show you that article. And Politico,
which article?
Leading article.
Which article?
Politico.
I mean, what article? That's the name of the website.
I'm sorry?
The article's name, sir.
Hoping is crazy.
Hello?
Sure. I mean, to be fair, I think we need to be careful about assuming the words or the instances of victims, but it's probably important to recognize that Ivana only said they're the best of friends, and it wasn't until 2015 in a campaign endorsement that Ivana specifically said that the allegations are without merit. So that change is interesting. Could be that he didn't do it. I don't really know, but it looks like it was specifically brought up in the book by Harry Hurt, talked about the assault, and that there were friends that were confided in about it as well.
Okay, and if there was actual reports of it, she wouldn't be able to refute it because it would be all, you could still find it on the internet, and there wasn't.
Reports of it? What do you mean?
Because
like police reports?
Supposedly, there's some people that say that she sued him or because for raping her.
No.
She refutes that. I mean, she refutes even accusing him of rape.
The most that they said, the most that Ivana specifically said, was that the story is without merit.
Actually,
I've recently read some comments attributed to me from nearly 30 years ago at a time of very high tension during my divorce from Donald. The story is without merit. And it happens to be in a endorsement campaign ad for Trump. Okay. All right. That's true. It might not happen, but it seemed like there's pretty heavy motivation for her to lie there.
Why? She divorced the man. She'd have no reason to do that. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, this whole Epstein thing. Now, yes, he was in the flight log 3 or 7 times. Mm-hmm. But even the women suing the Epstein estate have said Trump was never at the massage parties or the sex parties. All of them.
Nobody alleged that.
I'm sorry?
No one alleged that.
What do you mean nobody alleged that?
No one here alleged that he was at a sex party.
No, but you guys were saying, you're saying that he talked off the phone with him and then Epstein
yes,
made
that
a
much
call.
is true. And he took 7 flights with him.
And you said...
And those calls happen to be dispersed between calls from Epstein to a young model.
And you, not you, host, but Jaden said it's not a coincidence that he happened to make these phone calls. Then you, host, agreed with him. So you in a sense, are accusing of that, okay?
No, we aren't. I just said he made calls with Epstein.
You're insinuating, okay?
Insinuating what?
That because
it is as straightforward as it gets. He had regular calls with known sex offender and human trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. That's all.
Actually, the phone calls he had with him were before he was ever charged with anything.
That doesn't make him not a rapist.
I didn't say that. But the way you make it
just
sound,
because it was before he was charged doesn't clear him. He was still a trafficker. He was still an abuser.
But again, you
still
guys make it sound like that he was. You guys make it sound like that he knew what was going on or he was a part of it.
So the first time we saw the accusation was in the divorce deposition, and then of course there was a book written about it. But then, as you stated later on, she, in a campaign endorsement, we don't know what the causation of it was, said that the claims were baseless, but it's in her deposition from when she was divorcing him in grave detail.
Again, she refutes it.
She refutes it when? When did she refute it? Because I said it before. Can you repeat it for me? Can't hear you when you're off the app. Hello?
Also, Italian, it's important to note that when you're doing a deposition, you are under oath.
I'm sorry? What'd you say?
I said it's important to note that when you're doing a deposition, you are under oath. She gave a deposition in court. It's included in their divorce deposition.
And she said,
even though she refuted it later on,
in her deposition.
It's in her deposition. And then later on, for his campaign endorsement, she refuted the claims.
She said,
we don't know
she
why.
literally came out and said she never accused him of rape in the deposition. She literally came out and said,
where in the deposition does it say that?
Because you can pull the deposition.
So pull the deposition and show it then.
That is your claim. You'd have to prove it.
I already proved that Ivana said that she...
You said, right, you just said in her sworn deposition that she said that he did not rape her.
No, I said Ivana said she never said that in her deposition.
Can you prove that?
What?
Can you prove that?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Seeing if I can find the primary source of the deposition real quick.
The deposition used to be available, but then, like I said, when she refuted the claim for
I
whatever
have it on my screen where it literally says it on Politico that she says. I have it on my screen right
Political.
here. Politico is a left-leaning source, so don't try to make excuses.
You think Politico is a left-leaning source? Interesting.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Unless Politico has changed, they are unbiased.
I love how you guys make excuses when you guys are debunked about shit. It's fucking
You didn't
hilarious.
debunk anything.
Yes, I did.
Where in the sworn deposition does she say she was not SA'd?
And I quite literally asked critically if he could pull the deposition. I don't. If he could pull the deposition,
you said
we can
that she said that in a deposition that she said it, so it's on you to bring the deposition up.
Is that not what we're doing? Is that not what I asked?
So do it then.
Let's see. Unfortunately,
Damn it,
Newsweek
Amber
does
said
not
they
have.
sealed it. Amber said they sealed it. Shit.
Of course they do.
No shot. It's got to be somewhere on the internet. But unfortunately, Newsweek is not linking it specifically. All right. You're welcome to come back some other time to see if we can get the specific information on that. But given it's true, what would you say is more? When would you say is more likely for someone to lie? When they're in a deposition where you can't lie under oath, and you could be criminally prosecuted if you do lie, or when you're being paid for a campaign endorsement speech for that particular person.
You're not more. It's more likely than not.
Simple answer.
You're not going to lie under oath. More likely not going to lie under oath. But the fact remains, the deposition just happened, quote unquote, to be sealed.
I would have to get the specific information to see when it was sealed.
So the primary source would be the deposition. There are tons of articles that cited the deposition before the deposition was sealed. Unfortunately, they did seal it. If they did seal it, they probably sealed it around the time that she did the campaign endorsement, which is unfortunate. But it is what it is.
If they quoted it from a deposition, that would mean they have a copy of the deposition, which means it would be online somewhere.
Amber says it was sealed August of 2016.
Unfortunate timing. Oh God. Okay, my phone's not dead yet. Man, I don't have I got a fucking Android. I don't have the ability to charge my phone and be hooked up at the same time to the mic, which is irritating. All right, if it's sealed, then we can't really rely on this for a specific claim against Trump. But do you want to talk about the E. Jean Carroll case? Do you want to talk about what he said on the Access Hollywood? Do you want to talk about, we kind of want to talk about a connection to Epstein or the multiple other reports?
I'll go with E. Jean Carroll key, which one do you want to do, Epstein or Carroll first?
You do Carroll.
Sure.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about on that?
What is your refutation, your disagreements on that case?
Show me proof that he was even in the building with her. Name one witness that even could put Trump in the building with her.
The therapist.
Nope.
Refutation, excuse me. The therapist is the witness. That was one of the key witnesses called to the stand and attested to the notes as provided with the evidence.
The therapist was not there.
Therapist? Okay. They were, right, she was cornered and alone, so...
Wait, I'm curious. Yeah, Italians, would you say that we should never, ever convict someone of grape unless there is a witness of that grape occurring?
No, what I'm saying is this supposedly happened in one of the most expensive stores in New York where people that work there work on commission. So if they see somebody like Donald Trump walk into their building, their eyes are going to light up because they make commission. Not one
Specifically, where in the store did this happen, Italian? Where in the store did this occur?
They had two employees that work at that store. And as witnesses.
Where in the store the rates of people being raped and assaulted in this country have gone up, particularly more in states that have anti-abortion laws. And then,
like
on the opposite side of that, the data still shows
increase in
the
rape.
data still shows that immigrants, the data still shows that immigrants in the United States of America are least likely to commit crimes. And even when we look at the border closely, the crimes committed at the border in its majority, the crimes committed at the border in its majority are committed by American citizens with American birth certificates. Majority overall.
You don't know what a red herring is.
Even the per capita analysis applies. Sorry.
Correct.
Not at all.
The crime overall at the border is committed in more by American citizens born and raised. So your numbers do not align. Either concede or prove us wrong.
Well, I've already stated, and you're obviously going to come up
Stating
with
is not proving us wrong. I don't care about your feelings. I need some sort of proof.
Well, I just said, basically, what else do you need?
You saying and having proof are not the same. Where's the proof? Give us the data.
It's under the National Victimization Survey.
We are looking at the same data you're saying you're looking at.
It as a collective.
2023 points to a decline.
Yep. It declined. And one of the major reasons, if you had an ounce of geopolitical analysis, one of the main reasons that it climbed, it was low in 2020 and 2021 and then climbed in 2022, was because you had an ending of shutdown and opening up of transportation and people moving across areas. Everything was shut down. There were a lot more restrictions in place in 2020 and 2021. And then in 2022, we saw a lot of inflation, a lot of global instability, other problems, and that causes a pretty big increase. Yeah. So and inflation is directly tied, or economic instability is directly tied to crime rates. So,
which is from printing too much money.
From your understanding of inflation is absolutely elementary.
Trump printed more money, by the way.
I've never
printed more money and ran a larger deficit, a deficit that we're having to account for now.
I never actually heard inflation. It simplified that poorly, Kay. Good job for even confusing me.
Simplicity is always good.
How do they even? How do you even know how they measure inflation?
I see the numbers. I don't need to.
Do you know how they measure it? It is absolutely relevant because your view of it is incredibly elementary. How do they measure inflation?
What the dollar's worth.
How do they determine what it's worth?
It doesn't tell me how we measure it.
Well, I don't know, to be honest.
Consumer price index. Consumer price index. It's a basket of goods. They measure the price change for like a bunch of different shit that people tend to buy, and they see how it changes month over month or year over year. The factors behind that are so many. Obviously, things like printing money can contribute to that, but you're also ignoring things like corporate price gouging, and you're ignoring a lot of other issues that contribute to that problem.
Which is the issue we're having now.
Maybe you should speak to Kamala about that, because she's not having a very good job.
Okay, Kay, I knew you were going to say that, which is why I already answered that. The problem we're having now is not inflation. Inflation in the United States of America overall is at 2.5%. Now, that is different if you live in certain territories and states. And what do I mean by that specifically? Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Guam, and Florida have higher rates of inflation. Florida's inflation was totaling between 8 and 9%. Last time I checked, that could be different now. So depending on certain states that you live in, states and territory, that inflation is going to look different. But overall, in the United States of America, even with those state and territory factors, inflation is at 2.5%, which is lower than what Jimothy handed Robinette. So we're already better inflation-wise. The issue we're experiencing is price gouging and corporate greed, which is being addressed by Robinette's administration. The Robinette administration is currently suing grocery chains for creating a monopoly within the grocery markets and keeping prices high on purpose.
So you're basically,
and that's something that Kamala wants to expand on as well. If you want to read her new Way Forward plan, it talks about that.
3.9% under Trump, and under Biden, it's 25.8%. So whatever they're doing, they got to do it differently.
Wait, are you talking about the 4-year presidency? Talking about the whole term?
Well, I'm speaking about how people can't afford food. That's one of the main.
Are you talking
the election?
When
as well as
Jimothy handed
housing,
Robinette the
54%
reins,
increase.
Inflation was at 4% or something like. Inflation was at what? Was it 4? Was it 4 or was it 5? Currently, it's at 2.5 and going lower. It was headed to 2.4.
Kamala Harris goes back with, she says one thing and then she'll say another just to gain the.
Bro, that's
Wait,
Trump.
can you lock on
topic.
topic, please? Okay.
There's so many.
Every time you're proven wrong, substantiate or concede.
If you want to apply the inflation rate to a president, can you say that Biden's recent performance when it comes to inflation has been very good?
Perhaps, but that doesn't excuse the fact that people can't afford housing and food, and they're competing with millions of.
What proposition does Trump have to deal with housing costs?
Well, there's for once it's supply and demand, deportation on a mass scale.
Wait, hold on. Okay, I'm asking. So you're saying his deportation plan is going to deal with housing costs?
Well, it will definitely make the housing costs go down.
Do you know any percentage? Do you know the percentage of illegal immigrants that are buying homes?
Well, where do you think they're going to live? They're living in hotels. They're getting.
It's not a house.
They're getting.
It's not a house.
Illegal immigrants are overwhelmingly lower class. Yes, and if you're lower class, you tend to be in the renters market.
Like
yes.
that,
what is required to buy a house? What is required to buy a house, Kay? What do you have to prove?
Buying a house or renting a house, it's making prices go up.
No, what do you have to prove? You said buying a house. We're talking about the housing market. The housing market is based on buying houses. Okay, what does it take to buy a house here in the United States of America? What do you need to prove?
I'm not talking about necessarily just buying. I'm also talking about renting.
Renting is not the housing market. We're talking about buying houses when we're talking about the inflation. When we're talking about inflation in housing markets, we're talking about purchasing homes. So you got it right the first time when you talked about buying houses. What is required to buy a house in the United States of America?
Like I said, it's not just about buying houses, it's also about renting.
Answer the question and stop pivoting because you know you're wrong. Answer the question and stop pivoting because you know you're wrong. What is required to buy a house in the United States of America?
The Americans know, like, what the fuck?
You're an American, right? You should answer
the question.
Oh my goodness. I'm Canadian, actually.
Get the fuck out of here.
Wow, why is it that so many Canadians are really earnest about telling Americans about their politics?
Well, it has an effect on Canada.
Bro, you're not a voter. Why does this conversation matter?
That's an effect on Canada as well.
Okay, a couple things. If you're talking about mass deportation, that's going to significantly impact the economy. Every single economist understands that significant portions of our labor market is occupied by illegal immigrants. If you deport all of them, it's going to cause the entire fucking market to crash. It's a bad idea. There's a reason why it's not going to happen. Now, if you're talking about specific policies that aren't going to cause the market to crash, Trump doesn't have those to deal with housing. The difference is Harris does. Harris does talk about giving a grant to first-time homebuyers, a tax credit in order to ensure that they can afford that down payment.
I would also posit that housing costs would go up.
$25,000 tax deduction on a $500,000 house that's now over $1 million.
I would posit that home costs would go up, that mortgages would go up because of the immigrant labor that goes into producing the households in the first place, that goes into electrifying and then it goes into plumbing, et cetera, when you're buying a home. If it's going to be more expensive to produce a house with U.S. labor or citizen labor, then how would the cost go down?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to have more American jobs. They're taking away from American jobs. And also, I think the big...
But American jobs means having to pay Americans more.
You think they're going to make that housing go...
American jobs would mean paying Americans more.
If American jobs are compromised, we should see a very high unemployment rate. We don't see that.
Sorry?
And the data shows us that immigrants actually aid in our economy, and they contribute billions of dollars to our taxes. They also contribute billions of dollars by workforce, by shopping, in other ways. So not only do they pay into taxes and they get nothing out, they're quite literally taxed without representation via their ITIN numbers. They also still purchase things in the United States of America. They contribute billions of dollars to the system, and they are not represented in any way, shape, or form. On the opposite side of that, to the question that you cannot answer earlier, to purchase a house in the United States of America, you have to be documented. You have to prove your citizenship, or you have to prove the fact that you have either like joint citizenship in another area if you're buying a vacation home here. You have to prove that you pay taxes here in this system. You have to have a social security number and other forms of identification. Also, you have to have a bank account that is verified with a certain amount of money that must be present at the time that you are purchasing your home. So no, buying a home in the United States of America is not easy, and most immigrants are not able to do it. unless you are following the immigration process and not asylum seeking. Because you don't live in the United States of America, I don't expect you to understand that asylum seeking and immigrating here are two different things. So I'm going to tell you that immigrating here and asylum seeking are two different things.
Okay, no, that's fair. But it doesn't discard the fact that people can't afford housing because they're in competition.
It does discard the fact that
you
people
can
can't
keep on
afford
repeating that, but you need to show how a certain plan by a candidate is going to be better than the other.
Well, I've already said
Trump's mass deportation is going to cause a crash to the entire economy, and
will cause housing costs to go up.
Yep. The tariffs, which bring in
supply and demand,
cost of goods,
bring in steel,
balanced,
and the lumber tariffs that he enacted.
He's already proven, like, he has a track record.
Then why don't you own a home now? Oh, right, you're not a citizen.
Well, because renting is a lot better, I think, but that's personal.
You can't own a home because you're not a citizen. You can't prove you're either dual citizenship or that you effectively contribute to the American system by way of taxes.
And his track record is just bouncing off the Obama economy. That's all it really is.
Well,
the only notable piece of legislation introduced was the TCJA, which had negligible effects on economic growth, had pretty small impacts on the year-end benefits for people under 50,000. I think it was like a couple $100 every single year. Families saw an improvement there. But people disproportionately saw an improvement if you were making hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars a year. They saw pretty big benefits from the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. And that contributed to our deficit. Do you think that's helpful for inflation? Do you think that's helpful for the people in future generations that got to pay the bill for the deficit?
Well, everybody knows from living in America that the economy was much better under Trump.
You don't live here.
The point is you're engaging in a correlation causation bullshit. This should be obvious to you. You can't simply say that because two events were associated temporally that automatically means that one caused the other.
That's why over half the country is voting for
Hold on, Kate, you're not engaging. I need you right now to give me a specific policy that Trump passed.
Well, the results. I'm looking at the results of the policies.
The results don't matter if he didn't do anything. If the results are carried through from a previous administration, they don't matter. So what specific actions did Trump engage in?
Like I said, it's his results. So you can
of what policy?
Or someone else can hop in the guest request to answer the question because I'd like to hear it. Because apparently this person does not know what happens when you're Canadian and you're not informed on this.
If Canadians love Donald Trump so bad, we'll send him to you. We'll put him in your political ecosystem. Let's see how he benefits your systems and your healthcare. Let's see what he does for you.
That would
be. You're a fan
nice.
of Stephen Crowder, Kay? I feel like you would be Canadian buddies.
Who's that?
I don't know, someone who beats his wife happens to be conservative or something.
Oh, yeah, that would be wonderful. Like, how does that even coincide with this conversation?
It's making a joke because there's too many Canadians talking about American politics. Do you have an answer?
About?
An answer of what specific actions
what policy
Trump took
did he undertake
benefited?
that led to these results?
Well, he's bringing jobs to American citizens.
That is not a policy. He lost jobs.
Results. That's what counts, right?
Right.
Results.
He had one of the slowest month-over-month job creation rates. We lost several 100,000 manufacturing jobs under his watch. Unemployment was up by the end of his tenure.
Where did you get this from?
The Bureau of Labor and Statistics.
And sorry, could you repeat that?
The Bureau of Labor and Statistics.
No, the facts that you were presenting.
That we had slower month-over-month job creation under Trump. We had higher unemployment by the end of his watch, and we lost hundreds of thousands of manufacturing, non-farm U.S. jobs.
That's why all the farmers are really in a tight spot and food.
I said non-farm.
Oh, non-farm.
They're in a tight spot because of his tariffs.
I don't understand why the Canadians are doing this. You know what, my love? I want this live to be the proof that I earned my strawberry gummies. I will text you my P.O. box when this is over.
Eric, are you voting for Trump?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm independent, but I did vote for Trump the first time.
Okay.
I also voted for Obama the first time.
Thank you. Adios.
I heard that same line and Get Out.
You know, it did seem like a scene from Get Out. Well, Delotta's screaming a lot.
I think she said it the same way too.
So why do you seem indifferent or maybe potentially in support of Trump now for this election?
Well, I agree with a few things. I don't agree with everything, of course, but I feel like he is the best for the country, even though, you know, all the lies that's been spread. The politicians don't like him because, I mean, come on, the corruption and also the P. Diddy thing, right? All these politicians are also blackmailed.
My love, if we're
they are all blackmailed. Don't you understand that,
Erica? I want to get a barometer measurement of how good faith you are. Could you just give me a general summary of Trump's character? Do you think Trump is like a genuinely good, well-intentioned person?
No, he's an arrogant asshole.
Do you think he's done bigoted, biased, or misogynistic stuff in the past?
No.
You don't think that?
No.
I know. I believe it's all a lie. It's made up because the elite people don't like him for a reason. Don't you people see that?
He is the elite.
People don't like him for a reason.
Donald Trump has never not been the elite.
The regular politicians that have been controlling us all our lives don't like him for a reason.
What are you
Why do you think that is?
Who is they?
Erica, do you understand how this... Sorry, Buzzy, go ahead.
They're both corrupt, both sides. It don't matter, Democratic or Republican.
Who is the they that is controlling us? Who is the group of elites or people?
Okay, well let me start with the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, the oligarchy.
Anti-Semitic.
Just the protocol of the Elder
No,
Zion.
if you actually truly look up everything instead of just mainstream media and feelings that you have, you will actually see. Start looking up your own research, please, people.
Okay,
well, why is it?
Fucking everybody that says do your own research has done arguably the least amount of it.
Okay, who owns the Federal Reserve? Who owns the Federal Reserve?
The U.S. government owns the Federal Reserve.
No, the Rockefellers do. It's a private bank.
Oh my God.
It's a public bank. What the fuck? Stop, dumbass. No, it's not. No, it is not. The Federal Bank is the Bank of the United States.
Look it up. You
I don't
are
need to
ignorant.
look shit up. The Rockefellers do not own the Federal Reserve.
The Federal Reserve is not
it's not
anything to do with the American government.
It has everything to do with that. What the fuck?
We are all
They set
slaves.
interest rates.
Do you not understand that? We are
Why do
all
white
slaves.
people want to be slaves so bad? It wasn't great.
No, look, listen. We are all slaves by the American government, the public school system, everything. Are you so ignorant you don't understand this shit?
You are the example of the child that got left behind.
You are the example that are the people that don't fucking understand anything. And that's what's wrong with this world today.
That's why you don't understand anything, Erica.
Every one of you are so ignorant.
Fucking racist.
It's not black or white or anything. It's everybody who does not understand that
you don't understand
our
that the Federal
governments
Reserve is
are
public.
not for us.
Because you got left behind. You are the child that got left behind. That law was implemented for you, okay? Because you got left behind. You don't understand how this works because you got left behind. So now you base your entire
I got left behind. See that? So you don't think that's not being
left behind?
Oh, you're damn right.
Left behind and ran over by a tractor for sure.
Who's the head of the Federal Reserve?
Who's the head of the Federal Reserve? You tell me.
Yes, Jerome Powell, who was
Okay,
appointed
who
by
is
Donald
he?
Trump. The chair, that is the Federal Reserve Board chair.
Who started the Federal Reserve and where did it start
started
at?
in 1913, and it didn't start anywhere in D.C.
Yeah, how about start Googling it?
Erica.
I don't need to Google. I already know this.
Look it up.
Erica, there's a lot of you're embodying a lot of sentiments held by a lot of American people that feel like our institutions and our economy is kind of out of control.
Every
of the
bit of
individual.
them is corrupt.
Oh my God. Okay, I understand. And those sentiments aren't entirely without value. It is true that a lot of people in power make decisions that aren't representative of our interests. That is true. If we want to look at data that aligns policy with income, we see that policies are much more common when they reflect the interests of those who are wealthy than the interests of those that are poor. We have that data. It is true. But I want you to be super, super careful about being overly simplistic, because it's super easy to generate boogeymen, to simplify the issue down to, well, it's the Fed or it's a particular wealthy family.
You have to
Hold on. But it's incredibly unproductive. And more than that, all of the issues, the concerns you have can very much be levied towards Trump, someone who is a billionaire businessman who comes from a wealthy family. And the idea that he is some swamp drainer, that he is someone who is going to deal with all the corruption, even though he invited other wealthy billionaires, other corrupt people to his resorts, when he took bribes and deals from the Egyptian government. Hold on, real quick. Like, I think it's incredibly hypocritical to be skeptical of elements of our government and the interaction they have with people with a lot of money, but to not apply that to Trump. Do you see the issue there?
Give me one reason
and really think about
Do you even understand the question?
Can you answer my question, please? I'm begging.
Trump, in many ways. One, I'm independent. I don't fucking like either one of them.
No one asked. Why do you criticize the rich, but Donald Trump is exempt from that criticism?
I'm poor. I grew up poor. My grandmother worked
I
on
understand.
a cotton farm.
I understand. That's fine. That's fine. The point is that if you want to make broader claims about the way our capitalist system works, if you want to say that there's too much corruption, it's not democratic.
Yes, there's way too much corruption. We're being poisoned by our food system. What about John F. Kennedy? What about Robert F. Kennedy? How about you feel about that?
You can let some of those sentiments surface. That's totally fine. The problem is when you make it so obviously partisan and brain dead. When you don't apply these standards when you don't apply these standards to Trump or other people who are billionaires who are powerful, it's silly. Do you understand the problem with that?
You don't think Kamala was born rich?
She wasn't.
She wasn't born rich. Drink some water, please.
She's middle class, huh?
Erica, drink some water and walk barefoot in the grass.
Have you actually researched?
Walk barefoot in the grass.
Stop yelling at me
quickly.
Have you people actually looked into her history? Have you?
Literally, yes. We know arguably more than you do.
Okay, then tell me about her. Give me one reason to vote for her then.
Great, she prosecuted transnational gang members.
Because you're not sober enough to take in the information. I need you to sober up quickly. I need you to get some ice water, and I need for you to walk barefoot in the grass and hug the first tree you see. I need you to snap out of it. Put the Jim Bean down.
You still didn't answer my question. Give me one reason
Yes, I
to
did.
vote
What
for
the
her.
fuck? She's prosecuted transnational gang members.
But okay, show your source.
My source for what?
Like you ask.
Individual
like
cases?
all of you ask all
Sure.
the time. Show your fucking sources.
Right? Yeah, 1 second. I'll give you the case.
Grab that.
Okay, of course, I'd love that.
She also has. Oh, go
I
ahead.
just want to check that Erica has an understanding of what Jaden actually even said, because
she doesn't.
Asking for a source, like what did you make of what Jaden said?
Right now, babe.
Hello, Erica.
I'm loving the hate. Keep on.
Okay, I'm just asking you to confirm. What did you understand of what Jaden said?
You hate yourself.
Can you show that you understood what he said?
What about all the immigrants? 20 million.
What in the fuck is happening?
Erica, can you please stay on topic? Do you want to have a good conversation that's
Which one?
productive,
I'm reading the comments and everything. Which one?
Why are you reading the comments? We're talking to you here. Jaden made a point. What was it? You asked him for a source, so I'm assuming you know what he said.
Yeah, what source?
No.
Give me
Right
one.
here.
No, give me one reason to
Here,
vote
right
for
here,
Kamala.
Office of Attorney General from California.gov. Attorney General Kamala D. Harris announces dozens of arrests in major Central Valley gang takedown. Federal agencies arrested 75 individuals yesterday, adding to the 26 previous arrests and seized, I can't say those words, during sweeps of Madura and
He's going to get me
Merced
banned.
counties.
Mass. Have any of you watched
Police
anything
also
about
seized more than
Candace
a dozen
Owens?
firearms, including 5 assault rifles and more than $64,000.
Oh my God,
in
the
currency.
flesh. I just died.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you pick up a bottle of Jim Beam, you fill yourself with self-hate. What you're witnessing now is self-hate in action.
Candace Owens. Candace Owens. Do you respect her as a black woman?
Hold on. That's
be
fine.
the child that got left behind. Dude,
We
let
know who
this be
Candace
a
Owens
lesson.
is. Erica, did you hear the source from Jaden? And do you recognize that Harris has history? Okay, so you do recognize that Harris has history in prosecuting transnational gangs. That she has done a lot of work as the DA of San Francisco, as the AG of California.
She ruined San Francisco and California. Look at California.
Wait,
Everybody's
Erica,
moving out of
Hold on,
California and
Erica.
coming to the South. Why
Erica.
is everybody moving out of California and coming to the South? Quit coming to the South and fucking up the South.
Erica, she
We
hasn't
don't
been.
want you here.
Erica,
No,
hold
your
on,
hurricanes
real
do
quick,
that just fine.
Real quick, Erica, she has not been either DA or AG of California or San Francisco for a very long period of time. Erica, do you admit, hold on, do you know that Trump said that San Francisco has gone to shit, but it was good 15 years ago?
Nobody like fucking.
Did you know that he wrote separate checks endorsing Kamala Harris in 2014, thousands of dollars to her name?
Yep.
And Erica,
Trump
why would they
verbally
come to the South when
endorsed.
moonshine causes your
Kamala
synapses?
isn't endorsed by George Soros.
Erica, hold on.
Do you know who George
hold on. I just
Soros
want
is?
you to, Erica, I want you to recognize something we just said. You know that Trump verbally endorsed the San Francisco of Kamala Harris when she was DA, and he financially endorsed her by writing checks to her. Do you recognize
Show
that?
me the proof.
I'll show you the checks.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, for 1 second. Here, I have them.
And why would they come
How
to
do
the
I make
South
you big
when
screen? How does that work?
creates
Here.
people like
Do
you?
you know George Soros?
1 second
What
here.
in the anti-Semitic pivot?
We know of George Soros. There are plenty of billionaire people, and it is crazy that y'all focus only on the Jewish billionaires.
By
Why do
the
you do
way,
that?
quickly, just for future reference, if you tap on someone's like square, it should come up with like their name, and you can manage them, and it should have like a little.
Oh, and it can expand them.
Yeah, expand.
You see that?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna damn screenshot that. Yeah, absolutely.
Do it.
Re-elect Attorney General.
Yeah,
Kamala
then
D.
that's
Harris,
fucking wrong.
2014. So
If
Trump's
that's
in the
right.
wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're voting for that? How can you trust a man that's
I'm
endorsed so
not
many criminal
voting for
Democrats?
that. I'm independent. I'm independent.
You support Trump.
I
Let's
don't like
Are
neither
you
one.
voting for Trump? Are you voting for Trump?
Absolutely. Over her? Absolutely.
Okay, so you
Erica,
do believe
how
you should be
much
You're
supporting
voting
Trump.
for Trump. What in the fuck?
Erica, how much moonshine have you consumed?
I bought a house during Trump's time. Obama? No, absolutely not. He is a traitor. Do you know that he sends millions and millions overseas to the Muslim Brotherhood? He
The Muslim
started
Brotherhood?
ISIS. The CIA
He did
is
not start
ISIS.
Different types of races.
What
are
in
you
the
going
fuck
to
is
be?
happening?
No,
Moonshine
the
does not
CIA
make
is
you
ISIS.
racist. That's a choice.
No, are y'all ignorant or what? Do you not look up
Are you
stuff?
on moonshine or what?
The Muslim Brotherhood?
Hold on. Camacho, are you supporting Trump?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. I was looking for someone to replace Erica because I don't think she's coherent, whether it's because of alcohol or not.
You want me to pretend and like use their talking voice? Because I do debate them a lot.
No. I mean, I get it, but LARPing is kind of irritating. But I appreciate you requesting. Take care.
All right. Take care, guys.
They're still muted. Thankfully, they probably don't have a fucking
people to
unmute because
know-
they're so cracked out of their mind.
As a Southern girly, Erica does not represent us. I don't know what the fuck that is, but clearly,
Y'all got a lot of bad reps.
it's an example of what happens when your school does not have enough books in it for everybody. That's exactly what we're witnessing. When you don't have equitable access to education, you get Erica. And when you mix that lack of equitable education with a jar of moonshine from somebody's woods, you get hellfire, satin, and matches, okay?
That'd be hilarious if she's still talking, honestly. Roland, are you voting Trump?
I'd be surprised.
Roland, are you here? Roland McCoy, something. Fuck, I don't have to talk to Erica. Steamrolling. But this person.
Listen, there's being from the South and there's being from cornbread. Erica
There's being
represents the
inbred,
cornbread
too.
population.
Oh no, she's shouting.
Harish, are you voting for Trump?
Yes, I am.
All right. Erica, please come back when you're remotely coherent and when you can form a sentence and hear what we're saying. Thank you. All right. Why are you voting for Trump, man?
I just think that he represents everything that's not the neoconservative movement. He's going to pull us out of these wars that have gone in because of U.S. intervention, and he's run his campaign on anti-war. And I think that war,
Except for Israel, right?
I mean, for example, it is a really different story, right?
It is. Oh, so he's anti-war except for Israel.
So he's selective with the wars that he's against.
Again, he's not in office right now, so he isn't anything. But yeah, he has stated support.
In principle,
he has stated support for Israel, just like the Democrats have, just like everyone has. Because if you're an ally, right? If you're an ally of the United States and you get attacked in the way that they did, you have a right to defend yourself. And again, you can argue whether. It was again, I don't even really agree with that, but the United States, because Israel's one of our allies, cannot not give it support now
that's
when
fine.
it is launching attack.
Sure. The point is he's going to send money and send arms over to Israel, but he's been in opposition to it to some extent, sending money or arms, more specifically, to Ukraine, even though the Ukraine war is a justified war. It is a war that is resisting. It is a war resisting invasion of an authoritarian regime.
An invasion. Okay, so again, if you read the actual NATO. What is it? NATO testaments with Russia. They say we will not have a NATO base in Crimea, in Ukraine, or any of these states that border Russia. So again, they said if you do this, we will.
What did they state that?
They don't have any right to do that. They can't say you can't join NATO or I'll invade you. So,
yes, they can.
That's not how it works.
100%. No, they didn't say
nope. But they also never said that
you can't join NATO. They said you cannot put military bases in Ukraine. You can't put U.S. NATO military bases in Ukraine that have missile, warheads.
Where can I find this?
We have NATO. Search up NATO camps in Ukraine. And
I have, and we had a NATO operated base in Ukraine.
I mean, yeah, that's
for decades.
That's what I'm saying. But we moved more and more weapons into it, and they said if you keep expanding into this region, we have no.
Yeah, we did not expand NATO into Ukraine though. We also didn't do that with Crimea, and they invaded regardless.
Well,
there were no NATO operations in Crimea.
It's along the way of Ukraine.
Right, but your argument is that NATO had the condition that they would not expand into Ukraine or Crimea. They didn't.
Is the argument.
And they invaded regardless.
Okay, so listen, my argument is that the neoconservative, and that is Democrats and Republicans alike. Again, that is the word neoconservative.
We know what neoconservative means, yes.
Right? These people are the exact people that Kamala Harris represents. Can we agree with that? If you even agree with my framework as neoconservative, then Kamala
broadly,
is
broadly, and even Trump's neocon when it comes to Israel, he just likes to be selectively a neocon. So avoid that bullshit.
Okay, you can understand
but
how
I agree that neocon foreign policy
Trump
approach is generally the status quo in DC. Yes. I don't like it, to be fair.
First selection in candidates is somebody who increased drone strikes 450% during his first 2 years over Obama's 8.
Okay, again,
and that's something better than the neoconservatives
compared to Obama, right? It's not even half.
Right, I know. It's double. It's not half. It's double. It is more than double. I just told you, over 450% increase in drone strikes in the Middle East, in Syria, in Yemen, in Afghanistan, and Iraq.
Talking about civilian deaths in Yemen, in Syria, under Obama's relentless tirade of bombs that killed.
I don't support Obama's actions either, so I don't know what your point is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We all don't like anything that's going on out here. I'm just saying that neocons have it a certain way, and they will always, test other nations and push the boundaries of United States power, because that is, that's what they believe. They believe in the big stick instead of the carrot, right? That's how this works. And I think that Donald Trump is the exact opposite of what a neocon is. I think he's completely changed the GOP. Like, it's now a MAGA party. He's kind of ripping up these plans. Do I agree with everything about Trump? Do I wish he was nicer? Do I wish he leaned over the table more? Yes. But do I think that at the end of the day that he represents something that is the exact opposite of the political machine, and like the Nancy Pelosi's and all these people who we don't really get a choice to elect but have such a big voice in our government?
He's just an aggressively destabilizing political flavor of a lot of the stuff we've experienced before. He has the same populist elements we've seen before. Simply the fact that he's voiced opposition to Ukraine funding because it's kind of a populist, it's a section of populism right now, those attitudes. That does not mean that he's not going to be engaging in the exact same shit, because he did under his presidency.
Well, what did he engage in under his presidency?
Jaden just mentioned it. Are you deaf?
I just told you.
Okay, so
here, you can go to airwaysresearch.org. Shows you that even civilian casualties and overseas deaths from military operations were higher under Donald Trump's 4 years than Obama's 8. It's more than double. I'll turn on my camera. Flip. Here we go.
I just came up here to sign. Oh, okay, Jane, continue.
Oh, you can go ahead, Kobe.
I came up here to talk about the fact that he signed like the largest arms deal with Saudi Arabia while they're actively G-siding Yemenis. He also pushed for the Abraham Accords and normalization with a lot of Arab countries. That has indirectly kind of led to the regional war right now. He also increased funding for West Bank settlements. So, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Every American president is an imperialist or was an imperialist.
Yeah, I don't think that Donald Trump represents those people, though. That's my whole point.
He does and did. Jesus.
Did you listen to what I said?
I mean, right now, the MAGA party is not the GOP party.
Rish, you need to repeat the specific actions Trump took that Athena mentioned.
Yeah.
You saw the graph, right?
Wait, hold on one second. I'm so sorry.
Wait, sorry.
Can you
I didn't actually listen to
the
what she
points
said,
I
so I
made?
was searching for it. Sorry.
Of course you didn't listen.
My bad.
Yeah, so the largest arms deal that was done with Saudi Arabia, who signed off on it?
I'm guessing Trump.
Trump. What is Saudi Arabia doing right now? Or what has it been doing for the past couple of years?
I mean, they're engaged in their own little conquest in the Middle East.
Conquest? What have they been doing specifically in Yemen?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, is it our place to say what's right and wrong over there? I just think it's our place.
What's right and wrong with a genocide?
I think it's...
Wait, hold on. Harish.
Aren't you doing the same thing with Ukraine?
Wait, think here about the
facilitating.
Hold on. We're the police.
Hold on. Do you not hold on? Do you not think that facilitating a deal with Saudi Arabia
no,
is that not an implicit agreement to what they're doing?
Not exactly.
Wait, hold on. Giving the people who are doing a genocide weapons.
Well, it's selling them weapons,
so
which they would get from someone else.
No. 1 second. Giving people who are currently doing a genocide more weapons so they can use them for further genocide. You don't think that is somehow aiding
so
and
my thing here is that... Okay, sure, go ahead.
I was just going to say, by your standard, that would make that our engagement with Ukraine not neocon. Because we're not over there with boots on the ground.
Oh, well, we're not yet.
You might say, hold on. You can say not yet. That's fine. But the specific actions by Biden were not neocon according to you. Because your standard is we have to, have boots on the ground or something like that in order to engage in these neocon actions. Even though that's not the way our administration operates at all, we fund. That's how it works.
I'm sorry. If you try to say that any American president is not an imperialist, you're just very dishonest. You're incredibly dishonest. Trump very well was an imperialist, whether it was through his drone strikes, whether it was through the fact that he moved the embassy, the American embassy to Jerusalem and declared Jerusalem the capital city of Israel, whether it was the fact that he increased funding to the West Bank settlements. I'm pretty sure I'm still talking.
I mean, you're just listing off things here. Like,
I'm listing off things that make him an imperialist, which you're trying to deny that he's one.
Again, I don't think that he's a neocon. Like, I don't know what your framework of imperialism is, but he didn't send troops, and he's not inviting more conflict. Like,
how are you not inviting more conflict by funding a genocide?
Okay, for example, if you keep saying funding a genocide, again, I don't think, like, that's what the neocons want you to think, that you as an American get to go around and tell the world what to do. When Russia was genociding Uyghur Muslims, what did we do? We couldn't do anything, right? Like, this theory that we are the beak stick around the world is what I don't like. I think that's what other countries don't like either.
No. So I don't think America should be intervening in any countries.
I'm not finished speaking, right? So, okay,
you interrupted me initially.
Let me finish. Okay, so the biggest, neocon of them all, right? Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney, that whole family has just announced their support for Kamala Harris. I mean, this is the definition of a neocon, an evil Republican man who is now in the Kamala camp for the reason because the GOP party, the new MAGA party, is not neocon in the way they want it to be. They're more focused on internal things.
So you don't think like funding a genocide is Western intervention?
That's my whole point here. You're saying that funding a genocide, but again, it's not our job to decide what's a genocide or not. We provide arms because that's how our military.
No, it has been considered a genocide. What's happening in Yemen is literally categorized as a genocide and classified as one too. So when America is intervening directly within Yemeni politics and giving Saudis the weapons to genocide further Yemenis, that is literally Western intervention, which you supposedly are saying you don't agree with Western intervention, but then I'm pretty sure I'm still fucking speaking.
Okay, so
right?
Relax. So
yeah, no, you don't have
shut
to tell
up
me
with
to
this relax
relax
bullshit. Just wait.
Yeah,
you relax and stop interrupting.
Relax. You don't have to be so uncivilized and interrupt me every time. Have some decorum.
My bad. I don't have decorum. Sorry about that.
No, we've clearly established that.
I don't think that it's our place to decide what to. We sell weapons to everyone who buys them. That's just how the U.S. operates.
Isn't it American law not to like sell weapons to countries that are like violating
I don't think you understand America if you don't
law?
think we don't sell weapons to other countries or it's against our law. I don't know what you're trying to say.
You did not let her finish her statement. Holy shit.
I'm saying it is literally against American law to actually sell weapons to countries that are violating like international law. Isn't it called like the Leahy laws, if I'm not mistaken? The Leahy laws, which prohibits America from selling weapons to countries that are violating international law.
I'm not sure about that.
No, it's like a fact. But it's like literally that is precisely what. Yeah, so that is precisely. Thank you, critically for.
So then, why was he allowed to send money there? Why? I mean, that wasn't his money, right?
That's literally my point.
Well, was it just Donald Trump who signed off? Wait, can I get some?
Oh my God! Your argument is that he's against the perpetual funding.
Yes, I believe that.
I need your conditions because you're all over the place right now. I need your conditions
my
for when. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. When is something neocon and when is it not? And
when something is neocon is when they are in the specific party of people that I've just listed, right? And okay, I understand that's a circular definition where I'm defining people, but bear with me here. I'm saying they have
it has to be informative. It cannot be circular. I'm not going to accept that. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying that it is the certain set of people, for example, who use political machines like the one that is in San Francisco, like the one that's in California, like the one that get to prop up these people who have nefarious intentions, and want to expand the United States power. I don't think that is Donald Trump's number one concern, like it is these neocons.
Expanding U.S. power is absolutely his concern. And what
it is not
moving
the embassy to Tel Aviv.
It is not
from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
Instigating other countries. It is through doing things like trade deals.
Literally. Wait. Moving the embassy to Jerusalem. What did that do?
I mean, again, Israel's our ally, so
that's fine. You can say that. What did it do? Because you're talking about that he didn't engage in any.
Ally.
Yes, but what did it do? What were the results of that?
Well, I mean, the results weren't great, but I mean, isn't that not our job?
Then how is that not instigating? When you do something that instigates another country or a people, the Palestinians, to act out against an imperial force, Israel, how is that not instigating?
Well, I mean, again, That's what the Israelis wanted, and those are our allies. Like Palestine.
Wait, is Ukraine not our ally? Wait, what is the Budapest Memorandum?
I'm not even trying to be disrespectful right now. Like,
okay, finish.
I'm just saying, like, Palestine isn't declared as like an, they're not an actual country. I mean, I don't agree with this. Again, not my viewpoint. I'm just saying that.
Is Ukraine our ally?
States, for example, Donald Trump has a responsibility to Israel.
Is Ukraine our ally?
Ukraine is our ally, yes.
What is the Budapest Memorandum?
I'm blanking.
It's an agreement signed between us and them, the EU, where they would denuclearize in order to secure our protection. So we would decrease the number of nukes, which is generally a good thing, in order so they would go to get our protection. So when Russia invaded them, when Russia invaded them, we are obliged to help them. So they not only are they our ally, but we have a specific agreement with them to help them. So why are you against Ukraine funding, yet you support Israel funding, which is, we can go into the details there, not a just war, it's a genocide.
But also being an ally does not mean that, like, you become the world's police and decide to declare Jerusalem the capital city, going against everybody else in the West.
So why is there a disparity there? Why are you saying, well, we've got to help out Israel because they're our ally, even though they're engaging a lot of dog shit, but we shouldn't be helping out Ukraine because it's too neocon? It is.
Well, my thing was we were given an ultimatum to, stop moving more and more forces into Ukraine, which we didn't. Which is something that they have a right to say. I just think that it's
they don't. They don't get to say.
Never had that ultimatum.
They do, because what does NATO stand for?
What is it?
North
What's
Atlantic,
the ultimatum?
right? Like, the Ukraine is not in the North Atlantic region. We have no reason to even have weapons there. Imagine if Russia had bases in Mexico.
Based on what?
Based on the fact that if Russia had bases in Mexico,
no. Give me a treaty, give me an agreement, give me some kind of
Cuban
solution.
Missile crisis, we had a whole crisis because there were the possibility of attack from a place that was within.
You are saying that there is either some kind of agreement with NATO. No, because you have professed this several times now. You have said that there was an agreement.
Okay, so
you have argued that there was an agreement. Stop fucking talking. I'm going to hammer you down on this. You have argued. Shut up. You've argued that there was an agreement between the United States, Ukraine, and Russia that we would not have troops, or we would not have a base, or we would not have NATO intelligence. I need you to substantiate that, and I need you to do it now.
Fuck are you, dude? What are you talking about?
This has been your goddamn claim the whole fucking time. What the fuck? Pay attention.
Fucking do it now. What?
Do it now, asshole.
All right. See, this is like
you've set up certain
with you guys, right?
Okay. The problem is you're saying things that are incredibly inconsistent.
I've been very consistent here. I'm saying he's not neoconservative.
You just said you were arguing in circles.
What are you talking about, dude? Jaden, I'm not.
You just said my definition would be circular.
Damn, I'm not talking to you, dog.
Because you're wrong.
I'm
You're gonna ignore me because I'm calling you out. You were wrong on that. You've contradicted yourself on multiple points. You cannot say that Donald Trump is anti-neoconservative, but also contributed in the war in Yemen.
The neocons hate him. You can see it because they all flocked.
Right, but also extended the bombings in Yemen, extended the bombings in Syria, increased civilian drone strikes over Obama's last 4 years.
The reason the neocons. Sorry, go ahead.
I literally just listed all the neocons, and I just showed you how the neocons.
Right, but you haven't explained why Trump isn't one.
Relax, bro. Let me finish.
No, you have not explained why Donald Trump is exempt from that criticism. When more people have died, when more bombings took place under his watch.
I'm trying to be respectful. You keep trying to tell me what to do.
Can you give me mod powers,
please? I'm trying to be super respectful right now.
Okay, Rich, okay, what you're missing is that neocons have a specific profile. They don't just have foreign policy positions, they have domestic positions. The reason why a lot of neocons are opposed to Trump is because he's domestically unstable. Neocons are invested in a robust, a secure, a stable domestic situation so they can engage in their shit abroad. That's what they want.
That's a great
point.
If
Trump is engaging in volatile, bizarre actions that are difficult to track, that are difficult to predict, yes, you're going to get neocons talking out and saying, hey, I don't like that shit. I need a candidate that can be predictable. Trump is not predictable. Trump is insane and unhinged.
Wow, Trump is insane. You just understand that.
Absolutely.
When you say these things about a person, and like, he very well might win the presidency, like, we can both agree to that. There's a lot of people who are going to vote for him. you're now going to call all of these people, like, they're now extremists. They're now voting for a man who's insane. Like, let's not call former presidents and people insane. He's clearly not insane.
I will. And
Yes, he is.
engage
What?
in actions.
He's the 46 or 40.
He is
president.
very clearly insane. Cats and dogs being eaten by Haitian migrants.
I mean, there were reports.
He refuses to answer questions.
There was no
He's already
report.
stated that he doesn't have an actual plan. He has concepts of a plan. He has
does have a
constantly
plan,
disparaged
man.
somebody. He told a black woman that she was not black.
He's not.
There's clearly
totally
something
black.
going on, and whether that be that he just has a disparaging conversation, he just has a disparaging personality, whatever the case may be, he does not. He's a felon with 34 counts. He is an assailant. He should not be president of the United States of America.
Okay, so on all.
All right, real quick. Sorry, I've got to interrupt for a second. I got to run for just like a couple minutes. Jaden, I modded you. Try to keep things going. I know it's tempting to kick people. Try to keep things going if you can. All right, I'll be right back.
My 2 bags of strawberry gums.
Hi, Buzzy. Can you just repeat those reasons that you just said?
The reasons that I just said something is wrong with him?
Yeah.
The refusal to answer direct questions, the fact that he's admitted that he has no plans, rather he has concepts of a plan, the fact that he is an assailant, he's been found liable of assaulting a woman, and the fact that he is a felon with 34 counts set for sentencing at the end of next month. He should not be president. Whether it be that he just has a disparaging personality, or it just be that he's a very rude person. He is not fit to sit as president of the United States of America.
You know what? I can't agree with you on the fact that he is rude, and I really dislike the fact that he's rude. I wish he was able to, walk over the table. But I do feel like he does this specifically because, he perceives like the media and everyone's being against him, because they are to a large scale. So, I do agree with the point that he's rude, but as to the point where he has no plan.
Media has given him more concessions to be wrong than any other president. And the reason why they gave him the concessions to be wrong is because they knew when he entered office he had no political experience and that he wasn't a politician. As a matter of fact, a lot of people cited that the reason why they voted for him was the fact that he was not a politician.
Yeah.
People give him more wiggle room for failure than they give anybody else, especially in comparison to the things they say about Robinette's administration as compared to what they say about Timothy's administration.
No, I 100% agree with you, and that's honestly one of the reasons I told you this whole neocon thing. I dislike politicians. I think that politicians like Kamala say and do exactly what they want to get elected, and then don't answer to anyone's needs. I also think that you're going to say he has no plan, no semblance of a plan, while he accomplished a lot during his presidency versus the Kamala Joe Biden presidency, which was largely lackluster. And
he didn't accomplish
largely lackluster. Did he get infrastructure week? Did he build the wall? Did he make Mexico pay for it? Did he repeal and replace Obamacare?
The wall is all people talk about, but now
we can compare.
That was all he talked about.
Maybe he should have. Maybe he should have built the wall. Maybe we wouldn't have a record number of illegal immigrants.
No, we can compare
border.
presidencies in real time. He actually told us that he has concepts of a plan. That's the words that came out of his mouth. On the opposite side of that, Timothy's administration goes down in history.
No one knows.
She does talk to the media. She quite
said that she
literally
wanted
was
a
just
45%
talking to the
tax
media
on
2
caffeine.
days ago. That's not what she said. So we can compare presidencies in real time. Timothy's administration, anything that Timothy ran on and promised, he did not follow through when he was in office. On the opposite side of that, historically, Timothy's administration will go down in history as one of the most ineffective administrations we have had. As a fact, they did not pass enough legislative policies. They didn't do anything influential while he was president. It goes down in history as one of the most ineffective presidencies.
I don't know why you're reading off a paragraph. This is what I'm saying.
I'm not reading off of anything. I'm laying on a couch in the dark.
I can stare you in the eyes and make the same points.
It's dark. I'm laying on a couch looking at the screen. I'm not reading anything.
You want me to stare you in the eyes?
Now.
Why is this kid
literally?
I'm not threatening you. I'll tell you. I'll look straight at you.
So again,
it's not a threat unless you like it.
Robinette's administration has passed the most bipartisan legislation in history as of now. And Kamala Harris herself goes down in history as the VP that has passed the most legislative ties.
Okay.
In Congress.
Okay, so
Donald Trump's administration goes down in history as one of the most ineffective
for me to do when you're just reading off a paragraph.
I'm not reading off of a paragraph when I'm looking at you, you dummy. This is not reading. This is called, we have this conversation on a regular basis, and I actively engage in politics. Simply because you don't actively engage in politics does not mean that the rest of us do not have these problems. I watched Timothy's administration on purpose because I knew he had no political background, and I wanted to know what somebody... I wanted to know what somebody with no political background would actually do if they held office as the president of the United States of America. And effectively what happened is he did fuck all.
And I will agree with you. So you are right. Politicians do support Kamala Harris. Criminals support Donald Trump. Chesebro, Eastman, Giuliani. The list goes on. Why is it that the people he surrounds himself with either don't support him? He does support Donald Trump.
He's not part of the Trump
Why is it that the people? Why is it that the people? Excuse me. Why is it that the people that Trump surrounded himself have now wound themselves up in legal jeopardy? Have either been disbarred, fired, publicly disgraced, or no longer support him. 40 members out of his administration do not endorse his second term, including his own vice president.
Just reading out paragraphs to me and then
I'm looking you in the fucking eye. What the fuck?
This is what I'm saying. Like,
I told you I'd do that.
In the eye, you're still reading out. Like, you are
reading off of what? What the fuck is in front of me?
You're not.
You know what's in front of me? I will flip my fucking camera, numbnut. Shut up. I'll flip my goddamn camera. This is what's in front of me. Twitter. Kamala Harris's health report. That's what I'm looking at.
Okay, dude. I don't listen.
What the fuck am I reading?
It's hard when you keep getting told those by paragraphs, buddy. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, you keep on
because I'm well spoken.
This type of like distracting personal stuff is not helpful, man.
Me?
Yeah, nobody's reading paragraphs because you lack the intellect to have this conversation. You're attempting to make disparaging comments that are not actually disparaging. So once again, you can actually, if you need to read the information, you can pull it up. Donald Trump's administration was one of the most ineffective administrations we've had in the history of presidency.
I think that he was effective in the trade positions he put with China. I think he's effective in understanding what problems we have outside of the United States. And I also think he's effective in the way that
he was not effective. There's a reason why he's at the bottom of the list of the it's the reason why he's at the bottom of the president's list. He was not effective. By every metric, every metric,
you can keep repeating these facts.
By every metric, Robinette's administration.
Facts, you say?
By every metric, Robinet's administration is doing better.
You can't lie. You can't say the world's
going to end. By every metric, Robinet's administration is doing better.
Office, and it was largely better.
By every metric, Robinet's administration is doing better.
I mean, it was better for
every metric. Robinet's administration is doing better. Inflation is lower than when Jimothy handed it to him.
The most economic spurning time for
crime has gone down under Robinet's administration.
To say that any of the problems we have right now are Donald Trump's fault, when in the last 16 years we've had 3 neocon Democrat presidents. Is just
a lot of the problems we're having right now are a result of Donald Trump's tariffs. Those aren't his fault.
Again, that the world's going to end.
By every metric, we're doing better now.
Stop reading off a script.
Under Timothy's administration.
Better now than when?
Wait, Harish, hold on.
I need that answer. Wait, better now than when? We are not better than where we were in 2019.
We are. Our inflation is better. Crime is better.
Our economic industry is better. So what is the metric of that?
Yes, month-over-month job creation. You can find that by
month-over-month job creation is not the best metric of an econ. What?
Okay, what about unemployment? What about the change CPI?
So what was unemployment at?
Unemployment at its lowest was 3.6. It hit 3.4.
What was that? What was inflation at?
I just told you, under its lowest point, was 3.6. 3.4 as of May 2023.
We quite literally just talked about this and gave you the numbers. Inflation presently is 2.5% overall in the United States of America, headed for 2.4%, which is lower than when Jimothy handed it to Robinette.
Dow closed at a record 40,000 points for the first time in history.
Crime is lower in the United States of America under Robinette's administration.
We're in the bottom 50 nations in terms of inflation. I think we're at 145 out of 190 nations.
Legislation was created for people to have access to diabetic medications at an affordable cost.
Why are you just talking to a wall, right? Like, you guys are all...
Because you're not fucking listening. You're the wall.
Listen, buddy.
Hold on,
all
this
have
is the dishonest engagement. The problem is when you bring up a
so
point,
you can't just
when
not
you,
let me
Rich, when
speak.
you, okay, well, let's just speak in a second. But we need a point that is coherent and one that deals with the response that we've made to you. The issue is when you bring up a point about economic metrics under Trump, and then we compare them to Biden, and then you say, well, I don't really care, or I don't really believe you. And it also ignores it also ignores the whole point around demonstrating that actions taken by a president resulted in those metrics. You're just not engaging honestly with us.
Okay, wait.
I just think you lack the intellect to be able to effectively have this conversation.
Can I speak instead of you guys like telling me what?
Go ahead.
This is ridiculous. All right, so I think that since Donald Trump has took office, there's a lot of metrics that say that house, food, electricity prices, energy prices have gone through the roof, and this is outside of factoring into COVID, right? Listen. There is a trend, sure, across the world where there's higher inflation, right? But right now, like what just happened is the Fed cut the rate for the first time in a few years. You can say that is spurned on by what Donald Trump did, right? Like his taxes or whatever. No. I think that those tariffs are single-handedly the ones that are going to save our economy, and which are the ones that are bringing jobs back to Michigan. I mean, listen, we see that when we have another country like China who claims to be a regional hegemon in an area where we don't want them to be that, we need to have them taxed for sending things in. If that in the short term creates some problems, that's fine. But still, to this day, those are the same tax policies that we use today. Like that is the same ones that we have today. And another thing that I have against the Kamala,
no, we do not have a 20%.
A lot of the things that they say they're going to do are just they haven't done, and they have no pathway to do. For example,
that's literally your argument. That's what you're voting for. If Donald Trump could pass these things, why didn't he do it the first time?
He did. I mean, look, I'm giving you an example. I'm saying that Kamala and Joe are largely running, or sorry, just Kamala Walz.
So is Trump.
Mainly on a platform to bring back Roe v. Wade federally. Would that be
no?
correct?
That is absolutely not true. That is one of her essential core promises. But hold on. If you actually go real quick, if you go on her website, she has a whole New Way Forward document in which she talks about the specific types of stimulus she wants to introduce to the economy in order to ensure that people who are disadvantaged have a fair shot, in order to ensure that economic growth occurs. You want to talk about the child tax credit, whatever. There's multiple policies introduced. The point. Hold on. The point that I want to get to is it's really exhausting when you bring up economic metrics under a particular president, but you can't really point to specific policies. If you're just gesturing vaguely with the trade war we got with China, there's economic consensus that causes a shit ton of problems, especially with our farmers.
What?
The trade war.
Yeah.
What are you talking about then?
I'm talking about the trade war with China.
Yeah, you think that helped us?
I think that in the long term, it helps us from stopping China to be a regional hegemon.
Well, if you want, okay, so you're just pivoting now. Your initial point was that the metrics present under Donald Trump were because of a certain policy. Then you said the trade war. Then I mentioned that there's pretty much an economic consensus that caused more economic problems than it solved. And now you're gesturing vaguely to some type of global hegemony that you're looking to secure over China.
Listen, and you might think
So
that
what
that's
is
super
it?
counterintuitive to my anti-neocon, right? But
that's fine. Yes. I want you to hold on. Stop.
Here's where I tied in together. My point here is we should
that's
not.
Fine. Hold on. That's fine. But I want you to stick to something. You either need to say the economic metrics under Trump were good, or you want to say that Trump's decisions, whether or not they helped those economic metrics, were important for a long-term security over China. Which one?
So both, but 100%.
Absolutely not true.
But my thing here is I'm agreeing with you guys, but I'm saying some of those. Okay, can you just let me? I agree that the economy was doing better under Trump than it was under Kamala. I think that's just a fact. I think that the way inflation and rates of change are measured are from the status quo. They don't really measure it from Donald Trump's time. When you look at where Kamala Harris took office and when Joe Biden took office, prices for the most basic of needs, right? Unemployment prices for the most basic of needs were higher. And I think that that might have been caused in the short term because of some of Donald Trump's policies. I do agree with that, but I think that in the long term, those are better. That's why I'm not completely blaming them for the economic situation we have, but I'm not going to let you guys sit here and say that the economy we had from 2020 to now is somehow better than the economy people.
Okay, but I'm not going to sit here and let you ignore a global pandemic.
That the price of gas and the price of milk and the price of eggs are all going up. We know that the lowest income people are voting.
I got you. No, eggs are not coming up and gas has gone down. Both of those things have gone down. But why is it that Donald Trump escapes responsibility? Shush, 1 second. Fuck, you just rambled off. You rambled off your script. Let me speak. Why is it that Donald Trump is shut up? Why is it that Donald Trump is exempt from criticisms of the economic fallout from the pandemic, while Biden is responsible for the aftermath of the pandemic?
So if you listen to what I just said, I said that
you didn't say shit.
I just said he's partly responsible because the trade war does in the
But you keep saying you can't look at inflation and say that things are better now. I can't say that. I won't say that. But you cannot ignore the gravity of a global supply chain shortage.
Yeah, that was a pandemic.
Okay, then why is Biden responsible for that?
I didn't say he was. And again, like I said,
you keep saying it's worse under Kamala and Biden.
It is worse.
Right. Is that because of them, though? And is it better because of Trump?
Why did you mention it was worse? The whole point you were making is that because of that, Trump is a better candidate than Harris or than Biden.
Right, that's your whole argument.
The economy was better.
That's fine, but you need to
and I
say
also agree that you have to understand the chronology, because these things that he enacted were towards the end of his presidency, and you don't see the effects of them until now. That's why I'm not placing all of the blame. I literally just said that. I'm not placing all the blame on the shitty economy on Kamala and Joe, but I am, because the border.
You are, but you aren't. You need to pick
so which parts of the economy are you blaming Biden for? What policies has he? What policies are you attributing to that?
It's not a black and white concept. Come on.
I know. What Biden era policies are you attributing to these things?
Okay, first, a big policy, open border.
We don't have an open border.
One of the biggest policies that has.
No, we're at a 44-month low in terms of monthly border apprehensions.
Dude, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Customs and Border Patrol's numbers that show. Since July's executive order, numbers have decreased substantially.
Also, if you think that Trump is concerned about this, why did he tunnel the Langford bill?
Yes.
2 things. Account for why there's a decrease in crossings and encounters, and then say why Trump tunneled the bill. I want to hear that.
I'd actually love to find that transcript of what he said towards the killing of that bill.
In what circumstance? When he was talking to Langford, or?
To David Muir.
Oh, okay.
He was asked specifically, why did you... Here it is. Let me just ask you, though, why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so, that would have put thousands of additional agents and officers at the border? Trump, let me first respond as to the rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. She can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take our country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation. And it happened 3.5 years ago. And it goes on like that. Oh, he left.
Yeah, unfortunately. I don't think he was equipped to answer those questions. Holy shit! The double foot dipping, or the double dipping, whatever the fuck you want to call it, between saying like simultaneously Trump isn't responsible for the COVID shit, but also Biden we wanted to look at, but also we need to look at all these economic metrics under a presidency in order to determine how good they are. It's absolutely unhinged what they get to play with. While they left. I don't see any, well, I can try at least. One of them might be, one of them certainly isn't. But there might not be any MAGA in the request. So if you are MAGA and you want to continue the conversation, feel free to hop in the requests. We will try our best to engage honestly with us as long as you respond to our points meaningfully and concisely. And like the live y'all, maybe that'll bring in some more MAGA and stuff.
I will say the Trump supporters never sing their best. And it becomes increasingly obvious to the point where I wonder if they have a best.
Sorry to disappoint. I'm not MAGA.
Unfortunate. Wow. I was excited.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
I was annoyed by the last guy because he obviously didn't know what he was talking about. And I don't think anybody, when they sit there and be like, oh, the tariffs, they don't actually understand how the tariffs work. Like I used to import baby carriers is what it was specifically, but I used to import them from Poland years ago when I had a small business, and the tariffs are import fees pretty much that go to our government. And people don't understand that, like, the company you're buying from doesn't pay those fees. They think that, like, some people think that China's going to pay for them.
Oh, no. Yeah, China directly pays? Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. We pay
the goal is,
and then they go in our costs. And then
the goal,
on top of that, sorry.
I was going to say that, the goal with tariffs, and that Trump and economists try to cite as being useful, is that it will ensure that foreign businesses lower costs in order to remain competitive and encourage companies here to invest in, local, into local businesses. The problem is it's inflationary, very inflationary, even more than like a corporate tax or something.
One, it's inflationary. Two, we're not equipped, like we don't already have the businesses selling these goods in America that we get from other countries, or else it would be a really I don't know how quickly they think we can just start producing the amount of goods we import here in America, which you'll have one or two problems. They'll either have rising costs, which will increase inflation of the goods being imported, or the goods here that we do have, it ends up being a scarcity, and then they'll raise the prices here because people need them. It's not going to work out. The better plan is Kamala's plan, which is to first support small businesses here so we can produce more in America and buy less from other countries. You have to have the supply first before you sit there and ramp up how much it's going to end up costing Americans.
Yeah, that initial investment off the bat is generally better than curbing and penalizing people initially.
Incentivize instead of punish.
Yeah. I should bring up, I need to find that analysis I was reading on the 20 and 10% tariff. There aren't any new requests, unfortunately.
Oh, thank God.
I know, Jade, I'm sure you're worn out and shit. But if there are any, Erica's still watching. That is crazy. Maybe, Buzzy, you're right about the booze, to be honest.
Oh, wow, Erica's. I told you. First of all, so this whole, she hasn't supported a small business. What way do you want her to support small businesses? I'm sure she shops at them. We all do, but I don't understand the whole I don't know.
All right, Bella, I'm gonna try and keep the panel because it tends to be fun to see as small as possible. But thanks for coming and mentioning that.
I just wanted to talk about the tariffs. It just bugs the crap out of me.
Yeah, I don't even think Trump understands tariffs properly. But
he also doesn't understand what seeking asylum means. So.
I know.
True.
He doesn't understand any of it. Right? Come on. All right.
But thanks for coming up. You have a good night. All right, yeah, and I mean, this is going pretty decently, all things considered. So if y'all want to follow, I might have more conversations like this. If y'all want to follow me, I'll try and do some every now and again, especially since it's election season. So Jaden, I'm sure I'll be hopping on with you sometimes.
Of course, you're always welcome.
Hell yeah.
Comment, are you there?
I still don't really host lives. It gets strange. Every now and then I do go live to debunk the claim that I'm AI, just for funsies.
People have the same claim about me. They thought that I was AI.
They say that about me too.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, sometimes I go live just to debunk those claims. I have to do that, actually. I just thought about it. They're circulating again.
Are you voting for Trump?
I'm voting for Harris.
Oh, good shit, man. Wonderful. Good. So glad that you are an intelligent, good, moral person.
So
it's 11 o'clock already.
I think a huge issue that we have, why I support her, is because I think every kid should have access to sex change. I think every
I know this is going to be some bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, but Harris doesn't support that.
I believe that grown men.
Harris unfortunately doesn't support that.
Swimming changing rooms at the Y.
Harris doesn't support it. Even the World Organization, even the World Organization, even the hold on. I understand. Even the World Organization, the Trans World Organization, WPATH, does not support sex changes for kids. They just don't. They support gender. They don't. They literally don't.
They literally do. So you're factually incorrect on there.
Are you talking about mastectomies?
Yeah, so we could talk about the Komodo health study, which was involved with Reuters. It was the largest study that analyzed about 100 million insurance claims and found about, on average, 300 minors are having either breast removal or genital removal every year due to gender-affirming care. So
most of them are cisgender.
Yeah, true.
Most of those are cisgender.
Yeah, a lot. The funny thing is one of the biggest sources for mastectomies is dealing with breast cancer, or just a breast reduction, or it's just a breast reduction because of things because of things like back pain. So there are instances where children do get that because it benefits their health.
So that's not what I'm talking about, though. We're talking about specifically for gender affirming care. So
no,
that's not what we're talking about, though. You said sex change.
So we have WPATH in the United States of America, as critically just brought up. And under WPATH, quite literally, children do not receive surgeries for gender-affirming care. What they do receive surgeries for, I'm still fucking talking. What they do receive surgeries for is for a diagnosis associated with precocious puberty that causes a condition called gynecomastia, which is an overproduction of breast tissue. What happens is they get the tissue of their chest removed, and this happens to both boys. This happens to both boys and girls.
That's not what we're talking about.
They get that tissue removed.
Well, can you fucking wait?
Because it makes an aesthetic change.
Okay, wait to refute it.
It is considered a gender-affirming surgery, and that is called gynecomastia. It's chest surgery. However, for everything else, like bottom, bottom surgery, unless there is a special underlying condition, that does not happen until you are 18 years old, and that is under the guideline that covers the United States of America.
Yeah,
that is factually correct.
No, so everything you just said again is factually incorrect. You bring up the Komodo health study, 100 million insurance claims, 300 average.
Sure, that was in Louisiana, right?
No, it was countrywide. The biggest study ever.
Where? No, it's not.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you can keep saying
it's not, but
it's factually.
I mean, we can pull it up.
Yeah, you can. Komodo Health.
We can pull.
I have it here. I'm on KomodoHealth.com.
Yeah, so you'll see on the study that on between 250 to 300 on average per year. The majority of which being mastectomies for girls.
Sure, and that's the funny thing is you conflated things like bottom surgery with top surgery, which I really think you should do because they're pretty sigsignificantly different in terms of the implications of that surgery. And there's a reason why, and there's a reason why, and there's a reason why WPATH
per year.
And there's a reason why WPATH stresses the importance of waiting until you're 18 for something like bottom surgery.
Guess quite literally did not read nor interpret the study correctly.
Yeah, so we could also talk about
can I get mute powers or something?
Member of USPATH who has come out against this.
No. The talking over is fucking insane, man.
He just doesn't
well,
stop
why?
talking.
I'm trying to support gender care. I mean, it's what I want. I want
You're
grown
not,
men.
though.
I want grown
Okay,
men
so
in
you're
girls'
okay with it.
bathrooms.
Then what's the issue here?
I want grown men in all girls' bathrooms.
Great. Then what's the issue? All right, you want President Trump then?
Yeah, I want Kamala. I want tampons in every.
No, you want President Trump.
The state. I want.
Great. So what is the issue?
Go to illegal.
Okay, so if you're for transgender surgeries for minors, what's the issue here?
I know it's a funny bit to do the whole like, oh, I'm supporting all these things, which I'm trying to make out to be obviously wrong. But you need to engage. You need to engage honestly with us. Okay, if you want to have a real conversation about any of these, we can have that. We can have that conversation. That's totally fine. But I need you to stick to a point and engage with it.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so why do you support government mass censorship with social media companies?
I don't. I do not support Donald Trump calling for the removal of broadcasting licenses for CBS. No, I do not support the removal of broadcasting licenses, such as Donald Trump's proposal this week.
Yeah,
do you?
So then you don't support Biden and Harris directly working with Twitter and Facebook to mass censor.
That was not the government, though. That was candidate Biden at the time.
It was the government directly set up.
No. He was candidate Biden because this was 2020 and had to do with influence of the 2020 election. He was a private citizen utilizing private funds. No, because he wasn't a candidate at this point.
No, I mean, again,
Can you name?
Also, there's a mass
Actually
censorship.
get something productive out of this conversation.
Sure.
No.
Very true. But that's how they entice you. They hook you in with those flashy electronic spinning wheels and shit and make you think that you want a free gift or whatever. Then there's a catch and you got to pay more in shipping.
Oh yeah. Here. They joined and disconnected.
Atlantic said, "I have a
I'll bring
Phil
up Pacific
question.
real quick.
I actually have a Pacific. Excuse me. I had a philosophy question earlier today. Can you consider yourself a comedian if nobody laughs at your jokes?"
Do you laugh at your jokes? If so, yes.
Well, would that count as people?
If by nobody meaning even you don't laugh, no, I don't think you'd be a comedian.
I mean, are you a writer even if no one reads your stuff?
That's a good point. I guess.
You know? So, critically, do you know who's in Nick Mattel?
Who's what?
Nick Mattel.
No clue.
Okay, well, he's a raging Zio, but he made this argument of indigeneity, that indigeneity is not based off of blood quantum, which I would agree, but rather it's based off of ethnogenesis, that you have certain rights to a land based on having created a distinctive culture, like language, all of that stuff, right?
That's probably an important component. I don't know if it'd be.
I don't think that's what
sufficient.
establishes. Yeah, that's not what establishes land claims, though. I don't see how that would anchor
Yeah,
that.
I think that could enforce land claims or support land claims, but I think there needs to be some type of general material or ancestral ties to land.
Like
that-
harvesting the land or something,
Yep.
right? Some material action, right?
Yeah, that's it's a libertarian idea, but it kind of holds a decent bit of weight, especially historically. The idea of
It's not
homesteading.
just libertarian. It's also, I mean, people use it in socialism, the homesteading principle.
Sure.
But yeah, so I'm just like, why would that even be relevant? Like, I thought to myself, like if I want to establish land claims, I don't even have to be the first to occupy a piece of land. I just have to not initiate force and entrench on other people's rights to establish a land claim. So long as I do something like take some material action to
Yeah, you
establish a
cultivate
land claim.
it to benefit yourself or people that you're seeing over or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, what would your refutation be to someone who's saying that Israelis have a right to the land based off of indigeneity, and such that indigeneity is based off of an ethnogenesis that creates a unique, distinctive identity?
Yeah, I'd say there's no material bridge. That's the problem, and especially even in terms of indigeneity or the development of an ethnic identity, there's really no bridge there either. You might say that there was ethnogenesis for Jewish people in the region, especially when it came to a lot of their religious elements, but that was heavily modified as well by their diasporal dispersion into Europe. So there's been a lot of ethnic modifications, and the larger the ethnic drift, I think it's harder to claim a land as well. So I'd say that there's no material bridge there, and temporally there's a lot of separation between what ties them ethnically to a land in terms of their culture or whatever, between now and all the way back then. So yeah, I would say that ethnogenesis would be an important reinforcing condition, but it would not be a sufficient condition for a claim to the land.
Okay.
Something like that. I don't know.
Okay, I would agree to that. No, I made that exact same argument. He kicked me. I just said...
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming maybe you did that, but you can apply some pretty obvious... Holy... Oh, no.
That's a troll.
Oh, no. Okay.
That's a troll.
Wow, Jade is quick with it. Crazy.
You're welcome.
Mute. Unbelievably talented. No, but you can introduce some pretty obvious reductios that would kind of show that if you were to just apply it ethno, you could essentially do whatever to whatever group of people if they were able to demonstrate some ethnogenesis. It would certainly apply in the U.S., obviously. Maybe they would agree to that. Maybe they're very heavy land backers, but I doubt it. They generally aren't. So,
Well, I mean, here's the thing. his definition of indigeneity is like there's certain qualifiers to them. One of them is that that you're not part of the dominant group, that your ethnogenesis is unique and you're part of this minority group, not the dominant culture, right? The second is that you're the original inhabitants of that land. And I'm like, you don't even need that to establish land claims. You don't have to be the OG inhabitants. You just have to not initiate force, right? So basically, he's saying that if like a Palestinian had like a Jewish ancestor, he's trying to take away that they wouldn't have land claims because they're part of the dominant group and not the minority group that had the ethnogenesis.
Oh, that's very bizarre.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of how that would even apply. That just seems endlessly reductive. And how would you even draw the lines of dominant and minority? It also begs the question of how do you draw the boundaries, like with Native Americans, indigenous people here? Were they dominant? Were they minority?
Right, because their position is that Palestinian is not a unique, distinctive identity. They're just Arabs because they all speak the same language. They largely have the same religion, the same foods, yada, 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 right? Which I'm just like, that. Even that's not true. They have dialectical differences, right? Mm-hmm. Like you have Scottish folks and British folks. They both speak English, but there's distinction there, right?
I also wonder, how do you demonstrate sufficiency there? Because there are distinctive characteristics for Palestinians. And it's true that a lot of those distinctive characteristics, especially when it came to like endonyms or a lot of other conceptual qualities that group people together, a lot of that didn't occur until like the 1800s and later on, especially beginning of the 1900s, when Jewish people started moving to the region and Zionism started occurring. That is true, but I don't think that's that meaningful. And even if you do want to apply that, I do think that what occurred at that time period would probably could be granted as ethnogenesis.
But even that, I just don't see how that would be sufficient. Like, I could even argue that, there's aspects of distinctive culture. Okay, by Jaden. Like, for example, Palestinians use the CH sound, like kinafa, they call it chinafa. There's no CH in Arabic, in any other Arabic dialect. Or they have this pattern called tatriz, which they weave into their garments, or it's even shown on pottery and things like that. This common pattern, like several things like that. But at what point is it going to be demonstrated to be sufficient that they're distinct enough?
Super arbitrary. And people are going to draw that line based upon their preconceived ideas on who is a real people group and who aren't. So that's just going to be subject to those biases. It's bad.
Okay. Okay, so you think the homesteading principle holds?
That's one of the strongest ones. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's like, we don't really have a very coherent, concise view on how you develop ownership and claim over a land.
Would you say that indigeneity is the homesteading principle?
I mean, I guess roughly. They seem to be aligned they seem to at least overlap pretty heavily. When we're talking about indigeneity, we're generally talking about a people that is stewarded over a land for a long period of time, original to that land.
Okay. I disagree with the originality part, but yeah.
Originality becomes a little bit. Well, originality
what does that
is
even
kind of
mean?
impossible.
We all started from the Fertile Crescent. I could say this about anything.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to ask. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, you're probably just I don't know. Probably you are more informed on this than I am. So I think.
Oh, trust me, this is all I debate now. I haven't felt defeated once, I will say that, because I unleash philosophy on them, and that's not something that's typically brought up in these debates. So,
well, the Palestinian conversation can be pretty intimidating because of how much dense history there is, and if someone cites something that's purported to be a historical fact, and you're not aware of it, you're not aware of any of the defeaters around it or anything like that, it can be pretty intimidating. So it does require a shit ton of research.
Oh, yeah, a lot of knowledge. That's true.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, by the way, I finally put the link in my bio. So if you want to subscribe.
Oh, yeah. For the person you're helping out whose family was, yeah.
Can I do it again since you have like 230 people in here?
Go for it. Hold on, let me figure that out. Oh God. Okay, I did it.
Okay, yeah, you did it. You did it. Okay, let me show everyone. Okay, guys, I want to introduce you to my good friend Amani. I've actually known her for 3 years. I've known her family for even longer than that, because I'm good friends with her sister Isra, who lives in Dubai, and I've known her for years. And Amani's a good family friend of ours. And recently, she lost some family members. It was actually only a couple of days ago. And last time I talked to her, my conversation with her was absolutely heartbreaking. This was my conversation with her here. My conversation. She said, this is my last conversation with her. She said, to be honest, the situation is very scary since yesterday. I am so afraid what happened to my aunt, and we see it 2 days ago. Her aunt passed away. Do you remember when I tell you that there's airplanes that fly so close to us and give strange sounds? The same quadcopter targeted my aunt. So the aunt, her maternal aunt that helped raise her, was unalived by a quadcopter about 3 or 4 days ago. And she's absolutely devastated. And last I spoke to her, she said that I'm not sure if I'm going to make it alive. I want to chronicle everything that's happening to me. And so if you guys are interested, uplift Palestinian voices, subscribe to her Substack. You don't even have to have a Substack account. You just have to go to the link in my bio and put in your email, and you'll get a newsletter about her diary where she chronicles her life living through this genocide. So that's all I ask. And we don't even need money. We just need your attention. That's it. This is her dying wish. My hope is that she makes it out of this alive. But what we want most is her voice to be heard. So if you could go to the link in my bio and subscribe to her Substack to, read her diary. She'll be updating it often. So when she has internet. I also manage the Substack too. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for putting that out there again.
Okay, now you can make me smile.
Gross fucking situation. Let's see if I can figure out how.
The same way. They're like inverted
shrinks.
columns.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Help at all for this, as I do not host my own lives because things get weird.
It is complicated. I do feel like a boomer kind of doing some of this stuff.
No one said, I think just buzzy. Michelle, what are you talking about?
What's up, Lee? I miss Lee. Is that how you pronounce it? Hey, Lee, did you come up here to debate? Talk with us? Lee? Might have been an accident. Alright, I'll kick them.
I'm not a mod because critically only tells me he loves me.
My bad. Oh, my mod
but it's absolutely fine. Well, it's absolutely fine because I bare minimum know what I'm doing. So it's like, it's okay.
Fair. Alright, I guess we'll get one more push, see if we can get some more people. If y'all could, I don't know, get to, 200,000 likes? Yeah, 200,000 likes. Tap the screen, all that type of stuff. See if we can get a couple more conversations going. A couple more Trumpers in here who hopefully can not give us the craziest of headaches. We'll see. And I'm sure some people on the live actually have probably fallen asleep at this point. So I'm probably talking to some people snoozing.
I don't know, because I'm just thinking about like how I had to tax you for the frustrations of the world today. leveling up my candy.
Okay,
If
to be
another
all right.
crazy comes in,
This is a burden that's shared. I don't know why you'd be taxing me when I'm a victim of it too. So I feel like that's
you
unfair.
you have the patience.
Do I? I don't know about that.
You do.
That's a bit of a stretch.
You have the patience, and I have the cadence.
Damn. Fair enough. Fair enough.
And I'm not the one that owes you candy.
Again, the shipping costs. Steep.
Amazon exists.
I'll try. That is true. I do have Prime. Maybe I don't have that much of an excuse.
Exactly. You do have Prime. And those Sour Patch strawberry gummies are on Prime.
Oh, Alpha. Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been as many abortion conversations recently. I should probably host live sometime about abortion. Because that one is intense and complicated. Oh, we have a guest request. Is it somebody who's opposition? All right. No profile picture. I gotta get ready to kick. What's up, Nikos?
What's up?
How you doing?
Good, buddy. Good.
Good. You voting for Trump?
I'll take that over the alternative. I will take that over the trying to be funny troll dolls any day.
That is probably true.
Yeah, a little
But I
drive
need some
by
mental
high, there's nothing
stimulation.
wrong with that.
No, Sea Pacific.
A little drive by high is sometimes good for the soul.
Mm. Oh, did Jaden just join? Jaden, how was the food? Also, Buzzy, can I get like how are my visuals? Is my audio good? I don't have any way to know that.
Your visuals are fine. Your audios are fine. You would never
Beautiful.
know that you are using an Android.
Oh my god. What a compliment.
You would never know. I mean, I know because it disparages me every time you text me, and the little box is the opposite color of what I'm.
Yeah. I know everyone complains about that green fucking
But I
bubble.
will say, I did think about going to Android momentarily. I did, because of the flip phones, I did think about it momentarily. But it makes no sense.
Like the
because I have
folding
an
phones,
Apple
or
Watch. Yeah, the little flip, the actual ones that flip, that crack, that fold in half.
That is satisfying.
I know, and as a girly with nails, I just want to clack.
Yeah, the problem that I have with this is I can't plug in my headphones and my mic and charge at the same time. I bought this little fucking dongle thing. It doesn't work. It's dog shit. So there's just not enough adaptability. Maybe I do need to get an iPhone just so I can have a properly functional setup. I don't know.
Or, get like an iPad mini that you can just have,
True. Could do
at the
that.
crib. A little iPad mini. And it's useful. You can use it as like an e-reader or something on the side. You can hotspot it for whenever you're out taking plane trips. Like it's, a little iPad mini wouldn't hurt the situation.
I am I am a Scorpio. How did you guess? Suspicious. I don't believe in astrology, so I might be a believer now that you guessed that off the bat.
He's not a stargazing girly.
I'm not, unfortunately. I should be a stargazing girly and a crystal mommy.
Honestly,
that would be
you could be a crystal mommy.
True.
I've been on the road. I've been in the gym. I've been going to the gym consistently for some months. I've been calling it the road to muscle mommy.
Yes. Oh my god. Muscle mommy is underrated.
But I don't know how that's gonna work out because I've been doing the weighted hip thrust. I don't see the effects of it yet, but I'm hoping one day. But I also do a lot of cardio. Like I run and do Peloton, so that's probably offsetting what the weightlifting is doing.
It should only be offsetting if you aren't eating sufficient calories, but if you're eating enough calories, then it should be
I probably do not
enough protein
eat a lot
and
of
calories.
I know there are definitely some days where I am under 2,000 calories.
Yep, You need calorie. I mean, protein's great too, but you do need calories for the muscle muscle gains.
I should probably start putting make like a protein coffee or something in the morning to really just drive home the point.
Yeah, well, I am in college, finishing up last year, so. All right, I might hit one restart, see if something gets going, maybe switch topics during then too, something like that. I don't know if it'll bring more people or if just all the people who are asleep will not come back because they fell asleep. Hey,
It could be people that are afraid of you. That's also a thing.
Could be. Although I don't know, I feel like I've had barely any Kamala Trump debates. So there should be people who can talk to me who got the little red herring facts that will catch me off guard, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, like in general, the debates have been kind of all over the place because the thing is, like, Kamala doesn't have a skeleton closet to the effect of Donald Trump's skeleton closet. Like,
they were thirsting for Biden because you got the Hunter stuff and all that, which
they were thirsting for some sort of like, I got you, some sort of you have all these skeletons in your closet. And Kamala just does not have all these skeletons in her closet. She's
and
lived
walls
her
too.
Life amongst
Crazy clean candidate.
She's lived her life amongst the civilians, living honorably, and that's largely because she's been a part of the justice system. So, like, she has a respect for the law and, rules and whatnot have you, as it is closely related to her job. So because she does not have, like, the skeletons in her closet, the conversations have been all over the place.
Yep. Yeah. Super scattered, and unfortunately, you would hope, if you had faith in the human condition, you would hope that that disparity would really magnify all the dog shit that Trump has in his closet, but it's actually minimized it. For so many people now, which is concerning, it's minimized all of the bad characteristics he's had to the point where they're basically excusable. It's no longer, well, look at this other candidate. It's just, well, does it really matter that much if I vote for someone who sexually assaulted somebody or whatever? That seems to be the thing. So
for sure. Yeah. And the other thing is, because she doesn't have the skeletons in their closet to use as ammunition, they've been demonizing her blackness.
Say what?
They've been because she doesn't have the skeletons in her closet that Donald Trump and them have. They've been demonizing her blackness.
Yes, in the most stupid ways too. The whole denial, or the denial of her being black, or the belief that she took advantage of her blackness, or that she was flip flopping on it, as if being biracial isn't a thing, is deluded. It's insane. Someone says, "I'll take the skeletons." Jesus, you're insane.
It's been a bizarre time, and then also the other arguments are she's a DEI hire, it's all kinds of stuff.
Even though every single candidate is a DEI hire, including Trump, and all the white old dudes who are in office, that is DEI basics. The fact that it is impossible or difficult for many Americans to conceptualize of a president who isn't wrinkled and pale and a dude is fucking insane.
Good morning.
Hey, England, how's it going? You voting for Trump? Are you voting for Trump?
Mate, I'm from England and I would take a flight over just to vote for Trump, honestly. The videos that I see here in the UK of that Kamala and Joe Biden, it's embarrassing.
You're playing in our face right now. You're playing in front of my glasses. My optometrist did not give me 20/20 vision for you at your grown age to behave like this on the internet.
Yeah, why?
I'm from England, not Ireland.
The fucking English and the Canadians, why is it that y'all are so intent on talking about this stuff? Which is, by the way, hilarious, because there's plenty of English people, and the majority of English people don't like Trump. I think he's a buffoon. They make fun of him.
Trust me, everybody
he's like
I know loves Trump.
a Timu Boris who is worse in every single way.
Right, and isn't there a golf course situation he's being sued about over yonder by you, England? Do you recall? And on the opposite side of that, in your political ecosystem, don't you have your own issues with conservatives and the fact that they're literally trying to strip you of your health care?
We've basically got a Kamala Harris, a Kamala Kamala Harris. We've basically got a Kamala running England.
You're not funny, and your accent is making this worse. It makes you sound like a preschooler that just learned big words. Talk like a human, be a human being, or leave. Remember, you can't vote where we live at. You get no say in our elections.
England, did you approve of Brexit, out of curiosity?
It should have been... There was so much stuff that was wrong with everything that went on. Like the Brexit. Then
did you agree with Brexit?
Like the human rights. There was so much stuff, and there was so much shit and lies behind it all. Like,
did you approve of the Brexit decision?
No.
You didn't? Oh, so you didn't think they should have left the EU?
I think we should have just stood and been my own country and done my own thing. Getting involved with all the other countries and that is just the worst thing ever. It's
I cannot tell what you're saying right now. Did you approve of Brexit or not?
The accent's not that bad, pal.
Answer the question, please. Okay, unbelievable. Okay. I just want to know if they were delusional or a fascist. Probably a fascist. Because it would have been funny if they were like, no, I was anti-Brexit, but I was massively in support of Trump.
Highly delusional, highly Irish.
Jesus Christ. Geordie, oh yeah. The Geordie accent and the Scouse accent. If you have those, my condolences. I'm teasing. Joke. All right, well, if you are MAGA, hop in the box. We can talk. We can have a good discussion, maybe, hopefully. Nah, you left on your own. Nobody kicked you. And I can even see if someone else, like a mod, kicks you, so.
Somebody said talk to real men.
Talk to real men or man?
Is it talk to real men, I think. My question is, critically, are you a man?
I believe so. I do feel like one, generally.
So I'm having this conversation with a man, and as you can see him on the screen, he's real. Look at him. Look at him real.
Yeah, Descartes was right, I think.
See how he's moving?
Maybe, therefore I probably am. Mr. Spaghetti, do you want to talk? Oh God, nefarious. What a name!
Nefarious and Spaghetti.
Both of them are coming up. Fuck.
No. Okay, no.
Spaghetti, what's the with the real man comment?
No. Spaghetti is my last name.
Okay. Good to know, Mr. Spaghetti.
Oh my God. Well, it's Muschetti, but...
Oh, he's drunk. Oh.
No, I'm not.
Are you drunk out of your mind?
No.
So then...
But people don't know my last name. They say Spaghetti and shit like that, but it's Muschetti.
Okay. Why did you say the real man comment?
Out the backwoods for shores.
Well, this woman's talking about backwoods and back shores. People don't want to hear the banjos. But okay, what do you want to talk about?
There's no way you're not drunk. There's no way you're not drunk. What was with the real man
You
comment?
are definitely drunk.
What was with the real man comment?
Mason jar is out the woods.
You want to know a real man?
I want to know why you said that in the comments.
Please tell me why you're voting for Kamala Harris without you telling me that you're getting paid.
That I'm getting paid? By who?
Yeah. Oh, please. Tell me.
Who am I getting paid by? I'm a fucking college student in a house with several roommates.
You're a college
I hopped on a
student.
fucking live because I haven't hopped on a live in a while. This is my first live I've ever hosted. Wait, if someone was paying me, why would they be investing in a dude who is having their first live and doesn't have any online political traction? Are you serious?
Okay, are you serious? Because I did my first live and it took me 2 days. 3 days to get a first live. So what are you getting paid for? Yeah, show your hands. Now, are you willing to show them hands? You cock fucking motherfucker.
Just tell you to click.
Okay, motherfucker is drunk.
Dip your knuckles.
Bye-bye. All right. That was something.
He just told you to quit draw.
Why do people who are drunk deny they're drunk? I don't get it. Just say it. Just own up to it.
Well, because they don't
Jesus.
think they're more sober than they are, and they don't think we can hear the drunkenness.
They don't think they're lightweights or whatever. Conspiring.
Correct.
Yeah. What's up, Nefarious?
Nefarious, it's a very interesting username you have there. What would you like to contribute to the conversation?
Yeah. So I always like to open with a compliment.
Oh God, are you driving? What's that back? Your audio is terrible.
I'm not driving. Hold on. It's one of my earbuds are dead. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me see if this works. Did I get any better?
Whatever. It's fine, I guess.
But no, I'm not driving.
Go for it.
I'd just like to start with a compliment for anyone. That when your eyes roll back, I like it. It looks good. That's it.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
when your eyes roll back, I like it. So,
or is that flirting? What is that?
I don't know. Okay. But anyway, I see the alligators eating Kamala. Sorry, I don't know which one.
That's flirting.
Kamala.
So you've got the alligator eating Kamala, which means she's greater than Trump in your opinion. So
the alligator? What? Are you talking about the greater than sign?
Yeah, the alligator always eats the thing that's greater than because it's more food.
So you're flirting, and then you're saying that it's wrong that he has Kamala's greater than Trump.
Well,
what are you saying?
I can't roll my eyes anymore because nobody said that.
I'm a Trump supporter for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
So you're a conservative that's flirting with critically, and you're a Trump supporter. That's what I got.
Yeah,
I've had someone do that. Like I've had literally. So disclaimer: used to be conservative, and I was part of a youth program for PragerU, which I don't know if y'all know what PragerU is. Pretty fucking yikes. Yeah. I was younger then, but it made it worse because I was like 16 at the time. This one conservative who was like super aggressively fascist about everything literally messaged me like directly with like a bunch of gay shit. Crazy, because I don't know how much I talked about the fact that I was bi then, but yeah, unhinged. Anyways, distraction, off base, nefarious, why Trump?
So, me personally, I'm in Florida, and I do have the income that makes me favor Republican policies for the most part. So I'll be just kind of
at least you're honest.
With that. Yeah, I'll be upfront with that. And then the only thing that would make me vote for Kamala or any other Democrat would be maybe some consistency on the board. I don't see any consistency with her as of right now.
You see consistency with Trump?
Yeah, consistency.
On abortion?
Yeah.
I like abortion. I don't like abortion.
Yeah,
I think that I should vote for the referendum in Florida. I think I probably shouldn't vote for the referendum. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're looking for consistency, Trump isn't the paragon of that.
I wouldn't say any politician is the paragon of that. I mean, for sure, but I can just see myself. I don't know, man. I like, maybe it's because I just like Republicans more, and I'm going to still align with them.
Okay, you liking a particular demographic more shouldn't inform the candidate you're voting for.
I mean, maybe not, but it is.
What do you want me to say against that? These are incredibly superficial sets of like preferences for a candidate. Because when you're talking about someone who, we can get into all that stuff, I don't know if you were here earlier, but if you're talking about someone who, in terms of his personal characteristics, has sexualized children, has bragged about going to the changing room of young girls, has sexually assaulted somebody and held civilly liable for that, sexualized his own daughter, who has talked about people of minority groups in pretty disparaging ways, has been held and his businesses accountable for treatment of black people, specifically in his hotels, casinos. There's a lot of really fucked up characteristics from Trump that should automatically make him distasteful. And that's aside from all the policy stuff, which ranges from ineffective to pretty fucking stupid.
Okay. I mean, I just like being MAGA. It's fun.
You know what? Refreshing. I'll be honest with you, refreshing. Because I do think a lot of MAGA people bend over backwards to excuse what Trump does, what Trump has done.
I mean, I will say if he really went on...
Good on you, I guess.
I mean, if he really went out on wherever he said he was going to go and pew-pew somebody, I mean, he would lose my vote at that point, depending on who he would pew-pew. I mean, if he pew-pewed the right person, I'd still support him. But.
So pew-pewing would be obviously wrong, lose your vote. Yeah. But sexually assaulting a woman, that doesn't do it?
I am on the fence about it, and it's because it's just too... I'm not saying the act is convenient, but the timing is awfully convenient as when all that dropped. So that's where I kind of stand on that. I'm curious to see what happens. Like, if he doesn't win, like I want to see where it goes.
Well, the convenience was the extension on the statute of limitations, which allowed for that to even come forward. And by the way, the stuff with E. Jean Carroll probably wouldn't have even happened or have been successful had Trump kept his fucking mouth shut. If she would have levied the accusations and he would have been like, what? You know, I don't know if I was there or not, didn't do it. Probably nothing would have happened out of it. But the fact that he so intentfully decided to lie about everything, to defame her, that opened up the instance for defamation that she took advantage of, rightfully so, and that exposed all of the cracks in him, in his case, and in his background. The fact that during his deposition, he literally said, E. Jean Carroll, not my fucking type, and then confused her for his wife is absolutely insane.
I'm still lost. You say cracks because he's got a lot of cracks. I'm sorry.
What?
When you say cracks, it's a funny word. It's just a word that makes me laugh. Cracks.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, I like to crack surf, so I mean, I guess that's maybe why I get my humor from it. But
do you have any actual points? Because this feels not that helpful. And it's 2 a.m. I should be going to bed.
I just wanted to talk to you, honestly. But, I mean, I'm a Republican, but I love Lady Gaga. I don't like the way she thinks or some things that she does, but I can't negate her talent.
Are you, if you don't have to answer, are you a gay Republican?
Yeah, I'm a gay Republican.
Okay. All right. The amount of gay Republicans I know is genuinely concerning. I don't understand how you support an administration that doesn't really care that much about you.
Well,
like, you know Vance is opposed to gay marriage, right?
Yeah. I don't like Vance. I will say I'm not a big fan of his, and I think him and Trump will eventually clash if they get the Oval Office. I think they're going to clash. But it is what it is at this point. Like, I would much rather my boy Ron would have been in there, but
Paul,
it is what it is. No, Ron DeSantis, my governor. Yeah, love him. He's awesome.
Wait, you isn't he also opposed to gay marriage?
No. Me and my boyfriend currently, we met him a couple of weeks ago. I guess it was right before Helene hit, and we met him at a restaurant, and he was super friendly. I mean, not saying you can't be fake, so keep our vote. I mean, I get it, but I didn't get any vibes that he was just like gay dudes, get away from me.
I'll see if I can find it. I swear remembering hearing, and it could be all posturing, could be political posturing, because I genuinely think that a lot of people in the Republican Party are sociopathic and or are grifters. So it could have been political posturing, but I swear he did talk about opposition. It's kind of like when we went to Mar-a-Lago. We went to Mar-a-Lago last year, and Trump he brought a pride flag on. I don't even fly the pride flag. Like, I don't get into all that. And he had a pride flag on the stage with him and took photos with some of the LGBTQ people there at Mar-a-Lago. But he's supposed to be like anti-gay. Like, that's I don't see that. And I'm here in Florida, who's supposed to be the biggest anti-gay state in the country, apparently. I just don't. Now, if you're trans walking around, you got a little bit, I will say you got a little more of a target on your back, especially if you're not, presenting as the thing you're identifying as, if that makes sense. Like, if you're, I don't know, I don't want to get into that. You mean passing?
Yeah, sure, passing. Like, they get a little more flack. I can see that, but I mean, I'm a a more masculine gay man, so maybe that's why I don't get it as bad. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, Ron DeSantis could get it. I mean, he could sit on my face for sure.
Can please, horniness should not dictate politics. The fact that is probably an important part of your political decision making. Jesus Christ. Also, bad fucking taste. Are you serious?
I mean, I feel like it would smell good personally, but
okay, all right. Phone is at 6%. Is it worth charging more and going on?
I'll just go. I just wanted to. I mean, that's it.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Take care, man. Buzz, are you still here? Did Buzzy fall asleep? No shot. That is unfortunate. Let me see. How are we up to 250? What is it? I don't know how most people aren't asleep at this point. Well, if my co-host here isn't here, I don't know if I should continue the live. I don't know how it feels. Also, oh my God, I'm actually at 5%. Oh, you can't hear me? Son of a... Hello? Can you hear me now? Oh my God. All right, I need to figure this out because I have an Android and I can't charge and be plugging the mic at the same time. So this is going to be terrible if I don't figure that out. I guess I'll just have to invest in an iPhone or something. We'll see. All right, since Buzzy isn't here, and I feel like it's going to be a bit of a headache to moderate and take care of everything myself, I do have an Android, yeah. I might hop on or see if I can hop on another person's live, maybe for a bit, be a little bit more low stress and stuff. But to any of y'all that are still in here, feel free to follow me. I'll maybe try to go live a bit more and see how that goes. We'll see. But I do enjoy these conversations. I probably do need to have a couple people with me to keep me fucking sane, maybe. Yeah, feel free to follow me. Follow Buzzy too. Buzzy is great. I appreciate y'all being here for my first live. So yeah, this was my first live as well. And I'll try to go live more often, maybe depending on what's suitable. So, all right, take care, y'all. Appreciate the time. I'll talk to you guys later.
And see all of his stuff, right? Probably.
Yeah, I actually only see, I looked up Trump as a baby and I only see inflatables.
No, but I know. But how far back can you go? I don't know about as a baby. Maybe he don't have baby. He's 80. He's 70.
I don't see him being birthed. Hey, I don't see him being birthed in the United States.
Okay.
Wait, listen. I don't see a picture of him being birthed in the United States. Therefore, I don't believe it. He was born on Mars.
Okay, how far back does it let you go? Does it let you show his children that were his Ivanka and all them? Does it show them when they were little? So it says that he's been in the United States for a good 50 years, I'm sure.
Wait. So that's not. You said not born in the United States. You know Kamala Harris, and we can find pictures of them as. I can show you a picture of Kamala Harris as a baby. Do you want to see?
Well, yeah, it shows her when she was like 4 or 5 years old. She came here when she was probably like 3 or 2. Maybe she was 4. She has a sister. I know that. Nothing's on Google anymore about that. They take everything. You know what else?
Wait, Cassandra. Why do you believe that she came here at 4? Like, where the fuck
because
on 4chan
back in the,
did you
I'm
read
telling
that?
you, whenever she first came out, look, when she first came noticeable, and it sucks because I didn't screenshot the picture because I just, whatever, I was all into this, okay? I didn't know that she was going to be running for president, for one. Okay, when she became out in the open, I don't even know what year that was because nobody really knew who she was, okay, or whatever. And but she was a lawyer and all that stuff. So I don't know what year it was, but when she first came out publicly, okay, her mom, it was a picture of her mom and her sister, and they were saying, oh yeah, we're from like I think Egypt or India, I think maybe Egypt, something like that.
Is this for?
Who's that?
That's her and her dad.
Okay, where's it at? Is it in the United States?
Yes.
How do you know? Because it says on Google?
No, because of the picture. You can see the background.
Okay. Okay, what is the background showing?
You can see the infrastructure, plus this is a known picture.
Were they visiting the United States or something?
Wait. How do you know any of Trump's pictures were from the United States?
Trump was in the military, wasn't he? Was a child?
No,
he was a wild
wasn't.
child.
He dodged the military.
Huh?
He dodged the draft. Wait, show me a picture right now of Donald Trump when he was younger, and show me how you know it's from the United States.
UK, look, Trump has been well known for many years. Okay, he was in the military.
Kamala Harris has been well known for many years.
No.
Has.
How long has she been well known?
Prosecutor, AG.
Yeah, I understand that. But
Attorney,
talk about publicly.
Prosecutor. Wait. No, I already said this. Prosecutor, district attorney, attorney general, vice president, senator.
Yeah, I understand all that. Doesn't mean she. I get that. I'm not saying she didn't come in. She was like 3 or 4. She was here at 3 or 4 years old, but she wasn't born here.
Country? Wait, do you believe Tim Walz was born in the country?
Tim Walz? I don't even know who that is. I don't know who Tim Walz is. I'm just talking about the one that's running for president. You know what I mean? That's who I look up. You know, Biden. Biden was from here. His wife died.
Wait,
his child died.
How do you know Biden was from here?
Because, like, it talks about it. He talked about his whole life story about his wife and child dying.
Kamala.
You've read
Kamala
about Biden,
talked about
right?
her life story being born in the United States.
Yes, he was born in the United States.
No, listen.
You hear about his whole history.
Listen, Cassandra, listen. You understand? Kamala Harris has talked about her being in the United States and born in the United States.
Yes, and it also talked about her not being here. So I'm trying to say, but you guys were not. You guys must have been not into it at that time.
What about JD Vance? Was JD Vance born in the United States?
I don't even know who Katie who?
JD Vance.
JD Vance. I don't know who that is either.
Are you trolling? Please. I'm begging.
I'm just talking about Trump and Kamala. I'm talking about the presidents here. Not anyone else. Obama, Biden, Hillary Clinton, all of them. I look up all the presidents. I'm not talking about anybody else. You know, I'm talking about you guys are young, so I don't know if you guys followed all this.
Parker, please tell me this person isn't like the bottom 1%. I'm begging. Please, for your sanity.
It's really bad. It's really bad. I think it could be. Was JD Vance born in the United States?
I don't even know who Katie who?
JD Vance.
JD Vance. I don't know who that is either.
We need to hide our
well, that's what it sounds like. That's what Kamala does. So, or Kamala. Kamala.
Why do all the QAnoners say Kamala?
I don't know why. I was saying it too. It's like Kamala. It's like I don't know. It's kind of like Pamela, but it's an O. So I just say Harris because it's hard for me to pronounce sometimes.
I want to be in this woman's brain for just half a second. I just want to know what it feels like, honestly. Please.
No, you don't want to be in this brain at all.
Well, you're right about that.
Yeah,
wait, Cassandra, how do you feel about QAnon?
I've seen a lot of stuff. I'm just trying to tell you, you know.
Cassandra, how do you feel about QAnon?
I'm sorry?
How do you feel about QAnon?
QAnon?
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
Okay. You know what? Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm just saying, like I said, I kind of stepped out of all the presidential stuff. I really didn't do research. I was like all into it.
That's going to be introducing like crack to her brain. We cannot do that. That's abuse. Do not. Yeah, we can't tell her about that shit. It's going to be bad. Or sorry, D word.
It doesn't matter, dude. You're good. The algorithm's been cooked. It's literally 2 a.m. as well. Jeez, that was terrible. Yeah, okay. Cassandra, like, I'm serious. What would convince you that she was born in the United States?
I've already heard it before. You guys were probably in high school or maybe junior high. I don't know. But I'm telling you.
You literally said that you didn't know who she was then.
I didn't know of her. I didn't research her. I didn't say, oh my gosh, she's this, she's that. I didn't do all that. But yeah, there was like articles saying how her mom was from India and she came here.
Can you answer the question? Do you understand a hypothetical? What would be necessary to get you to believe she was born here?
There is nothing that's ever going to make me believe that she was born here because I already heard the truth when you guys weren't even doing the president.
See what I mean, dude? Like, she's literally so delusional that you can't get to her. Like, she's on the
because
light.
I've already heard that she wasn't from her own mother. That's why.
You are lost.
What do you mean from her own mother?
Her mom was talking about how she came here with Harris and her sister when they were real little.
One quote, please.
Wait, where'd you hear this from?
It was like it was like all over whenever she first came out, and that was years ago. And then when she became like when Biden was running, and then he chose her to be like the vice or whatever, I started kind of researching her a little bit, but not a lot, because I was so busy.
Oh, she got hate speech.